clash in the terminal here on Express. Arcitys up high. Tagged up. Asim with the first blood. Trades go through once again. HyDra. A magnificent nade there makes it a little bit more fair for them. Now Cell, he bounces straight into Clayster. 2v2. Mack's going to do what he can now to push these players back, but Cell's still on the flank. Cell's on the flank, cut down, and sadly, a bit of a team fire comes through, but with that, it all comes down to a 1v1 HyDra versus Simp. The young Frenchman takes on the Phenom. And Simp's got to play he's got to play for the bomb. He's got to look this one down. He's got to hunt down HyDra and find him, but HyDra, eyes on. He's got the bomb site in hand. There's Simp for the shots. Not able to get the kill. Less than 10 seconds remaining now. Simp's going to have to cross, try to plant the bomb, even get the kill. Time is running out. New York are going to get this one done. Simp's going to make something special happen, and HyDra is just going to sit back and let the clock go. New York have managed to clutch up here in Game 5.
Let's go! Let's go! Come on! Let's go, man!
Dude, oh my god, let's go!
Holy fuck, that was the sloppiest S&D ever. Oh my god.
Pago.
You're the
Go,
go. Good shit, baby.
HyDra! Here, HyDra! Bro,
Let's
oh boy.
Hello and welcome to the Major 3 Final presented by GameFuel, and we've got a doozy, Joe. FaZe, Subliners, the rematch I think a lot of us have been waiting for. It was a battle last night. I'm hoping for more of that today.
Yeah, I mean, it's really been a battle between these top three teams. You throw Toronto Ultra in there. It's been Game 5s ever since that winners final last night, just showing how talented these teams are. But you talk about these three, it's been a battle just between all three of them, just how good they've been. Man, it's just been crazy to watch.
It's been fun to watch, right? Like, the gameplay has been insane. It's been an absolute blast. Like, every mistake punished. It's been nuts to witness. But you know, it's the GameFuel Major. We got our GameFuel featured player. We've got to check him out. Of course, the French sensation. It's going to be HyDra. The man has been a monster since entering the league, and I can't wait to see what he's going to bring here.
Yeah, and I mean, HyDra, when we first saw him, and really throughout the group stage, it was all about his hardpoint. And he has been an absolute beast as a submachine gunslayer for NYSL in hardpoint. But throughout the major, it's been everything else, especially the search and destroy, where they are 3-0 in Major 3 in that game mode, really improving it there. And HyDra's been a main factor for that. Him and Asim really dominated in those searches last night against FaZe.
Well, that's where the question marks were coming in, right? We knew they could win hardpoint. Could they get it done in the other modes? And it seems like the answer has been yes so far. Can they do it here in the final as it gets a little bit tougher, as the map pools widen in a best of 9? But the stats, man, it's been unreal. Because when you talk search and destroy, through like his first 3 series or something, Joe, he had like a 0.5. Like, he was struggling mightily. The fact he's turned it around that much to go positive is just, it's unbelievable.
Well, don't forget the fact as well, he was in the 1v1 last night, round 11, map 5. It was him put into that position. You know, he takes his time. He plays the clock. He's the reason why they're in this grand final. So, yeah, HyDra, he has stepped up. It feels like he's gotten more comfortable getting into his positions, but being on the same page with his team. NYSL, they have been just so prepared when it comes to search and destroy.
They have, and I can't wait to watch more of that. But enough talk about HyDra. Let's meet the rest of the squad. They made it here through the winners bracket. Let's meet NYSL.
What a kill that was. I'll see you in league play later, boys and girls.
Clayster though has a couple players in front. He gets the 2-piece, gets the third.
There's the first. Those one more is inside. Fantastic movement. Shots on point. Keep the streak going.
It was a matter of moments before we saw this map potentially wide open.
Well, Joe, we talked about HyDra a lot. He's the GameFuel featured player, but tell me about the other guys and how big they've been for this squad.
Well, Asim was right up there with him yesterday, and he's just had a heck of a year. And, you know, it was a lot of how is his role going to change with HyDra? He's figured it out. Those two, they are an elite duo on the map. And then you have Clay, obviously the leader for this team. This is the veteran looking to win his 3rd world championship in a row. And then Mack, who has gone from a second sub now to the flex, running that second AR for this team. That is where I think they've become a complete team, is because of Mack and the way he has gotten better and improved throughout this stage.
Well, they've been able to do it twice over the course of stage 3. They've taken down FaZe, but they've got to do it again to take this entire thing. FaZe, though, hot off a win. A crazy win there in a game 5. We're going to see what they can bring to the table. Let's meet the squad. Check out Atlanta FaZe.
The game has turned on its head. Run! Run! Get onto the point! Cellium finds himself 2 more. Oh, baby! Absolutely slayed. What a magnificent comeback from Atlanta.
You got the tiny tears. Cellium, who I'm starting to believe is not a human being. I don't know what he is, an alien, some sort of special creature / monster. The stuff he does makes 0 sense to me. And Arcitys, who's been good all stage, he's hitting some form and making some plays that are just insane.
No, he really is. Those two really headline, at least for me. Obviously, you have aBeZy and Simp, and you know what they can do on the map, but we saw throughout Major 2, it felt like they needed a little bit to be a little bit better for Atlanta FaZe, and that's what the AR duo stepped up.
Let's check out the game field keys to victory now. I know it's tricky going into this because we're watching both teams play and trying to think of who's going to take it all, but you get some stuff in for FaZe, Joe. What were your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, Cellium and Arcitys, they have stepped up from Major 2. You can let them be the playmakers, and this kind of connects to the second one. You have to be a little bit more patient in Search and Destroy. We saw it in the winners final. NYSL was just waiting for them to get aggressive. They were waiting for the piece from aBeZy. They were waiting for the piece from Simp, and you know, he can go on his island and make his plays. But I think when Cellium and Arcitys are hot, you can tell those guys to slow down and wait for them to find a pick. And then we know in the best of 9, you're going to have 2 controls. NYSL, where is their one weakness? It's probably there. That is where Atlanta FaZe can really turn the tide for them.
Well, great stuff, Joe, but let's look at NYSL now and what they're going to do if they're going to beat them for the 3rd time over the course of Stage 3 and be crown champs.
Major 2, Toronto Ultra, it was all about their sub duo in the final. For me, it is that as well. Asim and HyDra played so well in the winners final, plus 15 out of HyDra, plus 13 out of Asim. Can they do it again? Their S&D prep has been the difference maker. It's obviously a little bit harder today, but they prepped a lot for Atlanta FaZe. They are 3-0 in Major 3. Then Clay, he needs to be the vocal leader. It's a best of 9. This can be a roller coaster. It could start off not looking so good. It could start off great. He's got to keep them focused on the task at hand.
Well, he said in an interview yesterday at one point, I can't remember the map, but he had to kind of tell everyone to shut up and take a deep breath. Like, it was getting a little bit too wild. They were sprinting into fights. And yeah, it's big to have somebody that can take over there. But you see the shift here in the maps and mode screen. We're going to have a lot more invested in this grand final.
Yeah, a lot more. You're going to look at the map vetoes. You're not going to have that raid hardpoint. You're not going to have APOC's hardpoint, what we saw. The Moscow and raid search and destroy is taken out. Sorry, raid control. Moscow search and destroy is taken out by NYSL. So the only maps we're going to have a repeat of from yesterday are what? That checkmate search and destroy, that express search and destroy. You know, and we'll see what else these teams should do on those maps. But we're talking about map pool here because, well, this is why. You're playing potentially 9 of them.
Well, can we talk? I want to rewind the clock a little bit and talk about that preparation stuff you were bringing up, because it wasn't just the search. Like, there were spots where they definitely looked ahead. They looked so prepped for the other team, but also in the control, their opening breaks, they were winning so clean. It looks like so much research and VOD review had gone into that. In the hard point, some of the lurk rolls and plays they were making, it just seemed like they were really prepping so well for it. Does it change a little bit here, though? You know, now that FaZe got one look at it and they're coming through the losers bracket, what's the big difference?
Well, I mean, yeah, I mean, it definitely has been. I think for Atlanta FaZe, you're going to stick to what you're going to stick to because you've been so successful throughout this year. They're in their 3rd straight final. And I just think there's going to be moments where they're going to have to be able to adjust in their communication and make sure they take care of the advantages that they have on the map. But yes, NYSL, not only props to the players, but also their staff. What JP and Revan, the work that they have put in is a big reason why they're in this position.
Yeah, well, sometimes, you know, people say like, oh, you know, the team on a roll out of losers has an advantage, but like NYSL's prep has looked so good. Like you got to think they've been spending this time wisely, but it is a great break on the FaZe side. They're able to get the openers. They get that mid-map control, and we'll see what kind of work and time they can put in, but you nailed it. They are very familiar with finals throughout the course of this year.
Well, they're familiar with Atlanta FaZe throughout this stage, right? 2 Game 5 round 11s they were able to win. One in the group stage 1 just last night. Clayster and Asim to find 2 kills. But Arcitys and Simp, they have worked the backside of this map all the way on the left, trying to focus on the spawns for our second hill. The pressure again going to come to Arcitys, just trying to play his life. Was hoping that aBeZy could get there a little bit quicker. They're a little bit split right now, and Mack is going to take both down. You do get some early time, 31 seconds. But NYSL able to recover, able to get that rotation over to next.
Hey, congratulations, by the way, and everyone watching on stream. I know you had to watch the match last night a little bit later this morning because you were celebrating your wedding anniversary. Joe, congrats.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Yep, 5 years.
We have been together a long time, but a great job by NYSL to get back in control of the point. HyDra, the game field feature player who has been a force outside of this universe, a galactic in his powers in hardpoint. Struggling so far, just 1 in 4, but you just got to think he's that type of player that at some point he's going to pop off.
Yeah, this is where we talk about, right, having those apps under your belt, right, early on in the day. As Atlanta FaZe coming out of the gates pretty hot, able to get that break on this second hill, so they're going to have an early advantage. Though across the map, Asim's going to pick up Simp, so Atlanta FaZe, they're going to have to wait for the next hill to pop. They're going to get together, they're going to start to work across the map. Wait for Arcitys. Maybe trying to find a pick. I don't know if they know he's quite there in that position. Now they're going to refocus on it. But here comes Atlanta FaZe.
You see HyDra, he's so worried about that right side push. Gets an awkward timing. He gets flushed out. But Asim and Mack, that crossfire so good. Asim, all 4, give it to him. Takes down the entire side of FaZe, sends them back to spawn. Gives a little cushion. NYSL.
Yeah, much needed, and it's Asim who steps up big time to get that multi-kill. Now trying to get across middle of the map. They almost want to flip the map there. The problem is, though, you're going to give up 20 seconds, but you see HyDra's position, but his teammates still spawning out at old. So Atlanta FaZe, they're going to retain middle of the map as you go towards our 4th hill, and I just think this is where really good Garrison teams have gotten quite effective. Is this 4th and 5th hill, the ability to keep them spawn trapped, and that's when you can link it to the 1st hill with that middle of the map, and that's where you can chain 3 hills in a row, really open up that lead.
100%. I mean, it can still be a messy big map. I mean, it doesn't look fun to deal with all the different points of interest and boxes you can get behind, but you said it. He's just gotten so much better at getting clean time. See if anybody can do it here, but it's HyDra. Trying to make a play as we check out our game fuel future player. And what did I say, Joe? You know, eventually he's going to come alive. That felt like I snapped my fingers and HyDra woke up.
Can he find the score streak? Trying to get some shots in on Cell, but now the pressure is on him. Simp going to take him down. He may not know how big of a kill that was. It felt like HyDra was alive for so long. Clay on the hill. He's making this messy. He's up to 12 kills. He's able to take down 3. They're going to get this time. They're going to extend this lead. They're going to keep Atlanta FaZe spawning on that side of the map, and wow, he is beaming right now.
He certainly is, and you know, HyDra, he's been playing so well, but a finals, $200,000 for first, it is a different beast. It is his first one, and you mentioned the leadership of Clay and how necessary it would be in spots, and I want to hear the comps, hear how it's breaking down for NYSL. Let's go right to an Astro listening.
Nice.
How much arch?
They're gonna be arch.
Oh, one. Close on you.
Yeah.
I have yours.
Oh, yo, mid tanks and arch. Top cat now, top cat.
Okay.
You're killing this kid. Sit on you.
Alright, one catches, one out.
One more.
They're gonna be bricks, guys. Work bricks together. Teamwork.
In bricks.
Kill one.
Nice
Still
back up.
dead in bricks.
Let's do.
One shot. There's gonna be one more in arch or something.
One jet.
I'm here.
I'm
Ready?
gonna get time. He's aim out.
Good time, Mac.
Rails, dead. I'm on time.
I'm coming.
Simp engine.
It could be P2.
Okay.
I hit him with an 8.
One spawn out.
He's arch.
Let's go. Top green weak, dead. Let's go. The two, only two here. Arcitys and Simp.
Good job.
Simp, let's get here. He's on this side. He's on this side.
He wants Jens.
I'm gonna go full around plat.
Okay.
Cages. He's sitting behind the pillar. Still behind the pillar.
Weak.
Behind pillar. You went left side pillar?
I'm
I spawned
He's in there.
back. Nice. Good
That's
win.
all of them. That's all on this side. They're all on the other side. Get green control, Sim.
Heard you.
One
Paco's
spawn
spawn killing him.
One green.
Yeah.
Paco's spawn killing him. I'm blocking plat.
One more.
Oh my god.
Let's go. Paco, Mack, get our side.
Back tank.
I need a trophy on time if you have it.
Lose a gunfight. Let's go.
I got a trophy.
Yo, one might spawn boxes with the way Paco spawned.
Okay.
Don't freak out. Not everybody freak out.
I'm watching it. I have the pitch.
Alright, there's 2 P2, 1 L.
Okay.
I need to
Maybe 2, I think. Maybe 3.
Wait.
No
Don't
bullshit.
die.
Okay.
Alright, don't die.
aBeZy on me, one shot people.
Don't die.
Pinch. He came up rails. He's on
Rails
their
some
side
people. I
top.
flipped.
Yeah. Let's go left, Clay.
Top cat. Really weak. One bullet.
He's
I
top
got one
green.
pack, one shot. One
Okay.
more
One
behind
top
you,
green. Stop green.
Chase
Oh, bien,
Good try, buddy.
I knew dead, I got him.
Alright.
Good kill.
I'm gonna go back to the back. I'm gonna go play main tank. Okay. I'm gonna go play tank.
Yeah, I need that. Someone. Okay. You take Chris?
Close one shot. aBeZy.
I need her to. I'm holding
Nice,
back.
nice,
Good trade.
One top.
Joe, there was some stuff I loved in there. When Clay goes up, he spawn killed him. We hop over to him, and he is just frying them off a spawn, making the play. As Clay just knew it was coming. And then, there's a moment where there's someone spawning out, and Clay's just sort of like, don't freak out. We got this. Just, keep the comms together. Oh, one last thing. Mack, what did he say? He's like, guys, work together. Teamwork. I don't know why I thought it was so funny, but it killed me.
It was just so nice, right? It was just so calming.
Teamwork,
But
guys,
yeah.
yes.
Yeah, Clay was just making sure, like, hey, one could have spawned out, but with that calm, like, continue to hold your angle. Don't give something up. Let's not lose our setup. But be ready for it. Be ready to react. And then even hearing HyDra, like, hey, like, don't die. I'm doing this, right? He is getting confident enough in his communication where, he's giving talks like that. Fantastic, but beautifully done by NYSL to chain that 5th and 4th kill together. They have a 60-point lead. Atlanta FaZe, if they're going to get back into this game, it has to come right here. And well, 2 are going to spawn out. This is just bad news for Atlanta FaZe. Make it 3. Never mind. 1 might hold the kill cam. Okay, and I say that is all 4 down.
NYSL, they are naughty boys on the map. Hardpoint has been disgusting as they push up in a huge lead here. Look to eclipse the 200-point mark and start to put this game away. FaZe, they could be a team of breaks. Well, they're going to need a lot of them here if they're going to bring it back in this map 1. Good thing for them, it's best of 9. So if they drop it, there's still going to be a fight. But what a start here from NYSL.
Yeah, let's not forget they were 11-1 in their last 12 hard points throughout stage 3. Cell trying to get things going for the team. But with 20 seconds left, right, you're going to flip that map. And NYSL, with the lead they have, they're like, all right, yeah, no problem. Arcitys is lurking, though, does get shut down. You can see aBeZy. He's actually going to force Arcitys to spawn out. A couple of players going to spawn old for NYSL. But the key thing here, even after that great match that we just saw from Atlanta FaZe, it's Simp and aBeZy, once again, not playing their best Call of Duty against the Subliners.
Well, at this point, I think it's tough to say they're not playing their best, considering this will be back-to-back matches against this team where it happens in Hardpoint, and coming off the series they just had. So is it something about the pacing or just the talent from the likes of HyDra to see? What do you think is making it so hard for them?
I mean, maybe just the way NYSL is playing the Hardpoint, right? Like, they're playing so fundamental. Again, when we watched them in Search last night, it was like they were waiting for one of those players to maybe overstep or over-challenge. So maybe they brought that into the respawn.
Yeah, it feels like there's something there.
They're doing something, for sure.
It's a small body of work, but something is slowing down two of the most talented SMGs ever. Maybe the most talented SMG duo of all time. They do not like this matchup from a stats perspective. 15 points away from the dub is NYSL. They have controlled it from the midway point onwards. HyDra, peekaboo, little pop, little shot. Can't take down both, but his impact has been made on the map. And just feels like from when we went into the listen-in and the spawn killing as he was getting gassed by Clay, they just never looked back.
No, they haven't. There's still a chance here for Atlanta FaZe as you get into this setup, but watch Clay, number 2. He spun out. He has been lurking this entire time. Atlanta FaZe knows something is up. As aBeZy trying to hunt him down, but so patient from Clay right now. He knows he could be the one to put this game away, but he's only going to get taken down by 1. Atlanta FaZe still continue to get that hill time, but maybe he messes up their setup a bit. HyDra spawn's going to get one, and now they're going to get back on that hill, just trying to chip away at this game.
Well, yeah, I mean, the fact he gets one kill certainly just shifts focus from somebody, right? Like, aBeZy's got to snap back in that direction. It changes things, but you do find the kills. You keep them 10 points away. YSL not really able to get much, but just like 5 points over the final 30 seconds or so. So, good job from FaZe. Yeah, it is doable. You can mount this comeback, but how hard is it going to be? And maybe it relies on the freak of nature. That is Cell, but as I called, he's going to drop. But now it's Big Alec with the pistol out. Finding the kill.
He's got to go. I mean, he's the only player left. Oh, Simp does get there. 249.
They get in. They get in. They're still here for a second, but 2 will end up falling. There's the final kill on the point. NYSL. They battle back in. FaZe may test them a bit late, but the hard point, truly a thing of beauty right now for NYSL. Oh, and here's his POV when he lined them all up. Ooh.
And I could see it in Clay right there when we cut to those cams. It was let's go, Paco, let's go. He is focused on HyDra, getting him fired up. It was a big map. Well, it was a slow start for HyDra early on, but the middle of the map right there, that is when he took over.
And listen, you've never experienced that as a player. And I know a lot of you play League play or something. You don't have that friend that gasses you up. You got to. Joe does it for me every now and then, where he just gets me going, riles me up, tells me I'm going to make a play, and I just start going off. You get hyped up. Like, it's got to be great for HyDra to hear that. It's just got to be. And not that he couldn't perform like this without Clay. Don't get me wrong at all. He is wildly talented. There's a reason he was called the French Simp. He's like the second coming of God in the Call of Duty League. We've all been excited for it. I'll tell you one thing. I don't think Clay hurts it.
No, here's that reaction. You just see the whole time, just let's go, Paco, just trying to get him fired up. But as we said, a long series. It's a best of 9. They capture that hard point. But what we've known from Major 1 and 2, the winners, that search and destroy and control going to be so key. But here's a look at those stats. And well, yeah, I mean, it was Paco, 29 and 18, almost 6,000 damage. I talked about him shutting down Simp and aBeZy. Look at the opposite side. Struggling map 1 for them.
And it's just not often that it's like both of them, right? Like, yes, every now and then one of them will have an off map, but not typically both in that capacity. So whatever NYSL is doing, they are doing it well. But it is a marathon, not a sprint. And I don't doubt that Clay can maintain that energy and enthusiasm over the course of this. We have seen him in double best of 7s back in what, like the AW days, those FaZe versus OpTic matchups. Like, he can do it, but he's a little bit older now. If this goes the distance, man, he's put a lot of energy out there. As you see him fired up once more in YSL. They get the dub. They're in command so far. We got Search and Destroy coming up after the break.
The Call of Duty League is presented by Seany, the official eyewear for the CDL. Armor your eyes with Seany Blocks blue light protection glasses by visiting seany.com/gaming. Gamers, get insurance savings and discounts from USAA, the official military appreciation partner of the Call of Duty League.
Welcome back to the Major 3 final presented by Game Fuel. 1 of a possible 9 in the books. Search and Destroy up next. We're going to take a look at some of the Search and Destroy stats for these teams and where they stand. First, the maps they're going to be going to with regards to Search. We can talk about that. It's going to be Checkmate, Miami, Raid, and Express. You'll get the most maps for Search and Destroy throughout the course of a best of 9. And as Joe mentioned earlier, that's why map pool is very important.
Yeah, it is. And here's a look at those stats throughout Major 3. And I mean, at NYSL, they were 4-3 throughout the group stage. And that was maybe a weakness, but throughout that Major 3-0, 1.47 overall. You'd see how good they've been, not only on attack, but also defensive rounds. And, for Atlanta FaZe 4-3, not bad, very competitive. You've beaten, Toronto Ultra on 3 of those, but they did lose both of them to NYSL in that winner's final. One of those was Checkmate, Search and Destroy. It was all the way to around 10. Was 6-4. But again, it was HyDra and Asim, those submachine gun players that really gave them the advantage. Arcitys had a great game with 13 kills, but the rest of the team struggled.
I'll tell you one thing that stood out to me. The last time we casted FaZe before the Major, we talked about the fact that they were first in the league on attack, 10th in the league on defense. Throughout this Major, they're better defensively than offensively. Do you find that a little odd?
I mean, it could just be to who they were playing against. I think Ultra can be a really good defensive team. Yeah, again, NYSL really prepped for them. And where is it easy to prep? It's especially on your defensive rounds. So, I mean, it doesn't surprise me, but maybe that speaks to kind of what we were talking about, where the guys who usually win them the offensive rounds in the series are aBeZy and Simp with their subs, and they struggled.
Yeah, no, could be as simple as that. Well, we'll see if they can rebound here. You don't want to go into a big hole early in the best of 9. We've seen some crazy comebacks, but I mean, I'm talking the history of Call of Duty, but it's not easy to do. You want to get a map on the board, and the First Blood King himself will start us off with the First Blood onto Asim.
Again, there's that response and a force to 3v3. I thought they were going to get a little bit patient there at Atlanta FaZe, and I like that. It feels at times, well, that's what NYSL was looking for. Someone to over-challenge, someone to look for that next gunfight, and Clay was able to find that player. Simp gonna get taken down. aBeZy gonna work up towards this bomb. Not gonna start the plant yet, and HyDra with some beautiful shots onto the wing. Arcitys, he gets taken down, selling the last man up, and HyDra is it missing.
He started, again, with like a 0.5 in search. He's brought that all the way up above a 1. He's got eyes, some sort of Superman-like laser wall sight eyes. Is he spotting people? Hidden. HyDra is disgusting.
Well, one of those first bloods from aBeZy doesn't turn into a round win. Throw man advantage away, NYSL. Behind HyDra, get the first round on the board. Checkmate, as we know, it can be very defensive favored. We'll see if Atlanta FaZe can respond with one of their own.
He just keeps on shooting. I think he gets 1 tag throughout the course of that.
Hello.
They're getting aggressive. Is this the A site? Are we going to see an A plant?
Well, I mean, they are so... Are you going to expect this? Asim and HyDra, they just go. They're in their spawn.
Now, this strikes me as one of those prep things, Joe.
Yeah, like, this is open, right? Early on defensive rounds, this is open. You do have a response on the opposite side. It's Simp going all the way through, but are you going to expect Clay in the tower? Maybe, I doubt it. Okay, he will. He does find a kill. Well, what a weird round this is.
It certainly is. Now the plant will go down, and the great opening from Subliners, similar to maybe what we saw from FaZe, at risk of getting shut down. numbers to FaZe in this 3 versus 2. HyDra, though, the playmaker, can he do it? Shot a bit off, and Simp will punish him. Not somebody you can miss shots against. There's the final kill, and, well, what a first blood for FaZe. They lose the round. A first blood for NYSL. They will lose it as well, but you got to love to see an opening like that, because I don't know. How many times have you seen that this year?
0. 0 times. I haven't seen that.
JP or Revan or who over there is just up all night coming up with the master plan. Good stuff. I love it.
Yeah, but even better props to Atlanta FaZe for handling that situation, because you don't see that every day. 2 players in their spawn. Maybe Clay just isn't ready for Simp to be that fast on the response, because he kind of sent it.
And as much as you're FaZe, you want the revenge, obviously, for yesterday, there's extra stuff here, too. I mean, with all the Simp and French Simp and, Clay and the entire FaZe team basically have history, like...
What?
They want to beat each other badly. But, yeah, Arcitys, nice kill.
Didn't see him too much yesterday with the 74U, so maybe throwing a different look here on one of their offensive rounds.
You see with the stuff last year in his hand, sometimes he was nasty.
He was. I'm just saying. I was saying last night.
Yeah, I know, but the guy's talented. It's FaZe. Take another one to go up 2-1.
Gonna flood on through. And you have the 4 versus 2, and Cellium gonna work that outer side. He's just gonna look for the angles to help his teammates with that Krig. They get that offensive round win behind that first blood.
This is the map you've been so good at if you're FaZe. I know you were dealt a recent loss, but outside of that, I mean, it reminds me of like the, checkmate hardpoint stat for OpTic. It's like they start out 6-0, they're perfect, finally dealt a loss, but they can still win it, like you saw them do earlier today. Is FaZe so far so good? Simp is on 3 in a row, and the battle of peekaboo and who will see who continues here inside the plane. It's a very nice plane.
And again, look at Clay. Look at Clay in his position. Very patient. They caught Simp a couple of times going on the flank A Street yesterday, and he's just waiting for it. But this is the patience you wanted to see from Atlanta FaZe. Let them come to you. Play the 4v4. Don't get down in the round before anything even happens. Now they're getting into their setup. They're forcing NYSL to come at him, and aBeZy, he's going to do aBeZy things.
Yeah, no, he flies right on out, but see him right on the other side of it. Now to the next fight. The wall paying in, he can't quite get out. Trades on top of trades, but Arcitys with one on the Mack. Didn't see where the pick came from exactly, but that puts them into a 2 versus 1. It's now on Clay, a headshot in, but FaZe in position. They take another round.
Right, the first 30 seconds, nothing's really developing. Clay is just on those wood stairs looking for something on the A Street, right? Is Simp going to get aggressive? Is Cell going to get aggressive? But it is nothing. It's okay. You're going to have to beat us in a standard default B hit. aBeZy's able to hit that first. Blood, Simp, another one, and they're able to use their man advantage to close that round out.
Those are quality beams, though, the way. I mean, Alec was just jumping to throw a nade. I mean, yeah. he wasn't challenging that fight by any means. He has hopped up to toss a nade. Before he got back to the ground, his head was in pieces.
That is the Krig, and that headshot multiplier.
Yeah, it is strong. High caliber at all times. Well, Asim gets a little info there with the tag. Clay wants to tag him up as well. As there's just a little bit of tickling going on there inside the plane.
Yes, Simp trying to work up, though. Clay repositions. Was it timing if Simp went? He would have found a kill. Now he's going to get bad timing. He's trying to look for Clay under that wing. Knows he likes to play these spots. But basically, Clay is saving Asim's life right now. It is on him. But they recognize the situation. There's not 2 players in the plane, so they're going to put the bomb down. He's going to get away. And now if you're Simp, you're just waiting for the timing. This is on him. Clay's waiting for you, but Simp's going to find that kill. Make it a 3v3. He's going to reposition. HyDra's working the top side of the map. aBeZy has to check the bomb.
Cell can't get out. Subliners, they're able to get it, and that's a huge round. You don't want to go down 4-1, and Simp makes the play. Son to the father. Takes down Clay, but can't quite get away. And tons of time. Get the defuse on through. But, I mean, one thing I guess that stood out to me is, well, even though it was kind of a straight up one-on-one, just after the bomb plant, Arcitys gets caught almost instantly. It was Arcitys, right? The first kill. Like, I just don't know if you've got to challenge that or drop there. But, I don't know. It wasn't like a crazy ego challenge, just maybe a gunfight you didn't have to take.
Yeah, and then Mack being very patient, watching, right? They know Simp's still alive. Where is he going to make his next maneuver? Where is he going to try and make the play to keep them in that round? And Mack just stays. Just waits for him to make that move.
So it's a game of like who can be more patient longer, but then get absolutely twisted when needed.
Yes, it is. Yeah, that's Call of Duty. That's Call of Duty in a nutshell.
All right. I figured it out. Asim behind that round. Now on 3 in a row, but back to this tough task of it seems so hard unless you're Bance, I guess, at times, inside this plane to find a flurry of multi-kills. Granted, in a far different mode, as I think that was Control, but it's just tough to pop off at times.
And again, 45 seconds into the round, not a lot of movement from NYSL. They try to find a pick, and they get it, and it's onto aBeZy on the bomb, just trying to shoulder, waiting to see when are they going to push to B. But it doesn't happen. They are so slow in developing these rounds. And then what? Because they're a man down, Sim's like, I have to make a play, right? I have to make a play, and, well, they're able to find him. The patience in the ARs, Mack. Nice shots with that Krieg.
Okay, so they dealt with this already, right? And it wasn't just against NYSL. This is something that hurt them at the last major. Their lack of patience at times and getting caught. So they've been there, something they've been working on. Then you deal with it specifically against this team. But it's still getting to them or getting under their skin or forcing maybe plays they don't want to make. I guess my question is why? Is it just, are they so patient that it's just they can't? I don't know. I guess it surprises me because you sort of know that's coming.
Well, I think for aBeZy, you know, the way he plays the B-bomb is he's shouldering, he wants an info so he can slide and take his challenge. But instead, he's going to have to just back up like the way we saw him play the one round and just wait. And even if it gets into a retake, be able to play that 4v4 retake, but you can't get down a man.
So it's just NYSL's ability to dictate the game at the pace they want to play it and take, you know, the opposition out of their comfort zone and what they want to do. This time, though, it's aBeZy that gets the hold, get the kill. He'll see 2. I think he saw both. And can he cross out of? He can, but then Simp gets caught. He gets wall banged. I think maybe he's trying to help aBeZy. That aBeZy flies out. Once again, thinks he's some sort of Marvel superhero. He gets dropped. Now, Cell gets the kill into a 2v2. They know his spot. He's had some freaky plays. Can he make one more? Another gunfight win. Kick it around the edge. Down to a 1 versus 1. Oh, no, he got the kill right before it. Never mind. HyDra gets it done. I thought he had another player to locate. He gets it. He goes on the 4 streak. His NYSL clutch up, and I was thinking they needed one more when it got to the 2v2, but HyDra goes beast mode.
Yeah, there's just one of those rounds. Yeah, it's this kill right here. He's able to take down Arcitys. Has the help of Clay. They knew Cell's position, but it's a 4v3. Bomb is down, and who do they pick? It's aBeZy and Simp just trying to shoulder, get that information. It's another one of those rounds where they get caught. They put their ARs into a tough spot.
Yeah, I was about to say, I was like, where did I miss that? Because like I was just focused on the Cell Clay 1v1. We swapped instantly. Oh, well, because he killed him the second before we swapped over. Great play from HyDra. 8-3. 4 in a row. And that's what? 3 straight rounds now for NYSL?
Yep.
And another round where you get the first blood, and then what? Simp gets caught? Well, maybe.
Okay, well, they just took the plane away.
Yeah,
they just pre-fired a wallbang and said, all right, they're not up yet. They're not there. Let's go. Or they're a little weak. But all right, they get the first blood, and now they back on up in a 4v3 situation. That was awesome from Atlanta FaZe. They used the wallbang spots. They're able to get into that plane. They find the first blood.
Well, Joe, I don't know how much it matters because they've had a lot of first bloods.
You're wrong.
And rounds
at least they backed up, right? Like they're playing, they're using their man advantage. They're getting together.
Group up, make it a date, close out the round. It's Arcitys, I think. He's like, I'm out of there. He just gets hammered as Asim peeks it for an instant. Nice nade will change the position for a moment, but well, the number's gone now. Cellium loses a one-on-one. There's not a lot of time left. NYSL got to make a decision. There's 12 seconds on the clock. They've got to go.
Where are they going to go?
Get in.
Clay? Yeah, I mean, you're playing down to the second right now as NYSL. That's what I mean. Like, I know it's killing some of the Atlanta FaZe players to stay this slow and this patient, but they are doing it. It's coming down to these final seconds for NYSL on offense.
Yeah, you think they're like kind of dying inside slowly over the course of this? Like aBeZy and Simp
like
are actually like part of their spirit and soul is deteriorating as the rounds just continue to go deep. And if they get aggressive, sometimes they're getting caught. But yeah, I didn't even realize it until I looked at the last second. I'm like, oh, they really got to do something. Like there's no time to work with. Is that kind of standoff just stretched out? Right to the wing Arcitys in the last matchup was so good for them in search. Not maybe having the same impact here, but they are all tied up.
No
Even in the
way.
round until then. It's aBeZy. aBeZy is down. And Joe, what's got you reacting that way?
Well, they're all looking for Clay. Yeah, like, look at Clay's reaction. He knows. They are hunting him down. They're trying to find him because Clay's the player that took down Simp. HyDra and Clay got aggressive. Simp catches HyDra, and Clay was able to trade that, but then he stays alive the entire time. You see Cell fly off. Everyone is focused on him, and they're jumping around. They're trying to get the angle, and Mack is just like, all right, some free kills for me.
Well, and think about how hard it can be to do here. When we casted FaZe vs. Ultra, remember we talked about, like, once you shot someone and your position was known, whether you got a kill or not, you were dead like 2 seconds later, right? Like, you weren't getting out of anything. So Clay's ability to make it go down like that, impressive for sure. Well, some damage done from the nades. Yep. HyDra does get out. He's got Clay to help. Challenges, but, well, that's aBeZy waiting with a sub. Not going to be a fun fight at all. Now to HyDra. 1 versus 4. Can't win. On to the second. And to round 11 we go. Everyone at home watching, you're quite familiar with this situation because we've seen a lot of them this weekend.
Yeah, but that starts with the nade from Simp. He sees they don't have trophies down. So as soon as aBeZy gets weakened up, he knows the push is probably going to come in, and it does. The nade connects. They can both double chow off of that. But here we go. It's NYSL on offense. Do they do it again? Are they playing patient, or are they going to switch it up and play with some pace?
Switch it up, dude. Fly. Just fly. Like an eagle.
They might be.
Through the sky.
They might be towards A.
Send it. Yes, send it. You've lulled them to sleep, and now you strike like a python.
Okay, they just stopped. They just stopped like right there.
Right. Well, I was so ready for it.
But when they did this last time, they looked for aBeZy on the bomb. So if we could switch to Mack's point of view really quick. He's starting to mantle up into that spot. They're trying to have HyDra hold this and then have Mack try to get the player on the bomb. But aBeZy actually pushed on up. So they took playing away. There's the adjustment from FaZe. But they're hoping they can catch a player inside of B right now.
This feels like a chess match this round. Like, you can see the pieces moving around the board as a team takes a different part of the map.
He hears this. He knows.
Time to go. Nice shots through, but he can't get out. aBeZy, so many first bloods, but effectively traded by NYSL. Simp. Next up the bat. He knocked one out of the park. Cellium there with him. Cellium's got to be careful, though. HyDra had the angle for a second, but Simp does make the play. So far, the hero of round 11 as he gets 3. His duo drops, but he picks it up as Simp goes big to close it out.
Able to take both down. He was alone in the plane. Cell got there, but he had to back down because of the angle from HyDra. Him and aBeZy, they take playing control. They know what NYSL is trying to do. That is beautiful adjustments out of Atlanta FaZe. aBeZy gets one. The call out is there. And again, it's a timing thing. 25 seconds. Simp knows that push is coming sooner or later.
Yeah, you know, Simp right now, it's like, you slow sons of... Yeah, you slowed it down, but guess what? Eventually you gotta go. And when you decide to go, I drop all of you. Simp, what an incredible play there. 12-7. And his duo and aBeZy, 12-7 as well. They had 7 first bloods combined, dominated early, dominated late. And well, Joe, what was the big thing from the game one? The fact those two didn't take over there, yeah, I'd call that taken over.
Well, and the fact that when they played this yesterday, they had 10 kills combined. Here, 24 from the Tiny Terrors.
Unbelievable. Let's check out the U.S. Army tactical play. We're going to watch Simp do the dance one more time as he puts down NYSL. But, Joe, you can kind of talk through how that broke down. Time, obviously, against NYSL is you're on offense. Eventually, you got to go.
No, and we saw this set up earlier from NYSL. What they're trying to do is they're getting some position A. They had Mack go up on the crates, and he's looking for a pick on aBeZy on the bomb. But all right, you don't get that. 35 seconds left. aBeZy's hearing that. He's hearing the mantle and the slide. He knows it's coming. He's able to get one. He doesn't get away. But that's all the information they need. Now, if you're Simp, how do you want to play this, right? Because you can see, look at the minimap. His teammates are not with him. Nobody's watching over him right now. Usually we see, 2 players putting some shots in, and now Cellium actually has to back down. So this is a 1v2 on the site, and Simp, it's his.
Yeah, it's huge. I didn't really think of that as it went down. Like, we saw kind of on X-ray Cellium moving up to help him, and then we see HyDra put the shots in, and I'm just still thinking they have 2 in the plane, but not really. It comes down to Simp to get it done, but aBeZy on your screen, he was making plays early, even if they wanted to clip his wings and not allow him to fly around map, they found a way to fly. They made the plays. They get it done. We're tied up 1-1 here at Major 3. We'll be back after the break.
Call of Duty League is presented by T-Mobile, now America's largest and fastest 5G network. Set your sights on the competition with T-Mobile, the leader in 5G. Scuff, the official controller of the Call of Duty League. Seany, the official eyewear for the CDL. Armor your eyes with Zenny Blocks blue light protection glasses by visiting zenny.com/gaming.
Joe, as we get back to this, briefly, even though Clay is not there, we're going to talk about him. I just find it surreal that we're finding ourselves in this position again. You know, we're going to go in the history books. You think about him getting dropped from the #1 team in complexity back in the day. He finds his way back onto a championship team with FaZe. He gets dropped there, finds his way to a world championship again. After that, he gets dropped, finds his way to a championship again. You think we're done? No, again, gets dropped after winning a championship. And now here we are. And I thought after the stuff with Zuma and the team looked good at the first event, but then sort of fell apart. I'm like, ah, man, there's just no way. You know, I just didn't see it really happening, regardless of the hype we heard around HyDra. But why does it feel like, I know we've got a ways to go towards champs, but why? How the hell is it maybe going to happen again?
Yeah, I mean, we saw glimpses of it in stage 1, even with like the roster that they had then, where they get to a top 3 position, and we're like, Clay's going to do this again, and you could see it beginning. You know, stage 2 wasn't the best for them, and they knew they had to make a change. They had HyDra, and I don't know, it just feels like he brings out the best in his teammates. He makes sure his teammates understand the best way to play that game. Yeah,
and people have different competitive drives. You know, we're close to Crowder, the coach of FaZe, and you know, people ask him all the time, "Do you miss competing?" He's like, "No, I'm just ready to be done." Like there was a point where he just didn't maybe love the competition as much, just the competing day in and day out and all the work that went into it. But Clay, like, I think he's just one of the most competitive human beings on the planet, and that alone drives him forward. Granted, he's given extra incentive every single year to drive him forward, but I don't know. I just think it's unbelievable, man. I don't get it. It defies all logic for me. It's not even like an individual skill thing. Like, I haven't doubted that exactly. It's just how he keeps finding championship caliber teams. And, well, he ends up with Simp, who ends up being maybe the best player in the game. Now, HyDra, who Lord knows what his ceiling is. It's, what the hell? I don't know.
Yeah, well, you're talking about that. We also, you know, you just saw the control stats there, though, right? That was one of the keys for Atlanta FaZe was to, this is where you could kind of turn the tide of the series, right? But yeah, I mean, if there is one game mode where they haven't really gotten on the same page throughout this stage, it is control. You know, they've gotten better at search. Our hard point has been almost perfect, but their control has been not great.
Way to reel me back in there, Joe. I just, you know, I got a little bit lost in my love for Clay, I guess. I don't know. But yes, it's time for the control as we're tied up 1-1. And yeah, maybe the opening, the thing that'll separate these squads. And yeah, the fact that you play multiple. And yes, it's still a swing game. Yes, it's less than the other modes, but I don't know. Do you feel it's the same impact or more of an impact? Like, how do you feel it fits within a best of 9?
What, having 2 controls?
Well, 2, but like when you think about the fact that it's 9 maps and you still have more hardpoint and searches, you still, it's got a bigger impact for you versus like the one in the best of 5.
Yeah,
I mean, percentage-wise, yes, it does. So
I just think in terms of this matchup, though, it's even a bigger factor. I think that's why I'm really focused on it, is because this is where FaZe is going to have the advantage. But when I say that, it's Asim, you're making kung fu noises. You're getting ready for your acting career. After this is, well, the 2 subs, they're able to take down all of Atlanta FaZe.
Well, yeah, the little slide, the movement there. Yeah, it looked like something as like the Mortal Kombat movie just came out. Just nasty with it. And now it's Mack's turn. He'll get 2 before he drops. Lovely shots out of him. But, well, Simp, the immediate answer, and then, well, a lot of times when it's 2 top teams battling it out, it's answer after answer after answer. As they are just trading blows.
Yeah, when we talk about, right, preparation, NYSL was waiting. This was the control map. They just watched Atlanta FaZe play versus Toronto Ultra. It's a very good map for Atlanta FaZe, but you know, you talk about breakoffs and how impactful they can be. They have anything up their sleeve maybe on the offense. Defensive-wise, it's been really good, but sometimes it just takes one moment. It takes one moment, and it's Arcitys on a 5 spree, looking to get all the progress done at B.
Well, I think we watched them here against, I want to say Mutineers, and yeah, their breaks were insane on both sides. Like, they dominated it. It was impeccable how they were able to just get control early, get a 3 or 4 down, and never look back. But with a team like FaZe, it's going to be a little bit harder to, I don't know, continue off of that, and they're going to find a moment, as you said.
And Arcitys, he's got the artillery, so he could, if he wants to, use it here. He's going to find the cruise missile. Thank you, Mr. Trophy. But they're going to take their time. They are going to take their time. If they can find a pick, it might be time to use that streak.
Surprise! Now we're the patient squad as they lurk. And then they pop onto the zone. 3 will drop. Last man. It is Asim. Waiting for his teammates, but his teammates got to deal with the hell, the fury coming in from the sky. Bomb protection might help them, or they get into bricks. Well, nope, Mack, he thought he might have got away. He's going to catch the final bit of that missile, and then Arcitys puts the nail in the coffin with a wild stretch at the end of round 1.
Unbelievable. He dies one time in the round. He's doing it with the Krig. He finds this 74U. He puts a missile into Asim, and he closes the round out. And I thought he was going to go for it. Offense so big on this map. And they take advantage. It was down to 19 seconds, but they get the kills they need. They get on the B, and that transition from B to A just so smooth. And as you said, it was patient. They waited for NYSL to get caught.
Yeah, just giving them a dose of their own medicine. Yeah, you love to see that. He can be patient too. And Arcitys, I don't know what is into him. I got up early this morning. He was streaming at 9 a.m. He was just live, just playing league play, ready to pop off today. What do you eat today?
Well, yeah, great match versus them last night. It hasn't had, like, the biggest impact here. Well, at least in that map 2. Game 1, he played well. But yeah, he has been on point. Major 2 wasn't his best, and you know he wanted to respond and have a really great stage, and he has. Arcitys has been insane for Atlanta FaZe. Still, only died one time. We're almost done with round 2, but finally it's taken down.
That was something special, and we've seen rounds where, early streaks, you just never really recover from it. But if you're a top team, you'll find a way to do it, and that's what NYSL is trying to do now. Simp, just crisp and clean. Unfortunately, Asim came in from the rafters.
Yeah, him and HyDra actually find 3 kills. Arcitys, of course, he's the one. They get that trade, but he's just going to back down to A. The progress is going to be there. Simp isn't missing either. He's up to 10 kills. Play, though, in a bit of an off angle. He's going to find a freebie that might be B done. Oh, never mind. Cell, of course he's going to look for kills. This is just what Cell does. Yeah, it's just what he does.
He's like, you guys go ahead. You want to back up, that's fine. I'm going to go ahead and take the fight to them. And he's on fire.
They're going for it because of his kill. They're going for it. Yeah, they went for it. They stopped it.
They get the stop. There's just 2 ticks in. Who's the guy still lurking? It's going to be Mack. On the other side, HyDra has transitioned to the opposite point. Cellium trying to get in position to pick that up. He's got aBeZy behind him. Can Mack and HyDra get it done? Mack wins it on one side. Asim, the help from middle. They retake A, but that's split enough to get them to zone.
You're able to be done. You have a 2-life advantage. You're going to get into that defense. RC's going to get picked. This might be go time. You still have the artillery if you want to use it. Clay continues to find kills. He's got 3 in a row. Simp knows, though, the push is coming. At least finds 2. That'll trade things out. That'll make the progress be a lot slower. It allows Arcitys to find a pick, but they have to deal with Asim, and they do. A nice retake, but it starts with Simp just being able to get that multi-kill.
Yeah, it's lovely to have a title where a multi-kill in almost any scenario is a good thing. Or it results in something. Not just them spawning in the same spot with their team. And then flying at you again 2 seconds later.
No idea what you're talking about at all. Not one clue.
Me either. But there's 28 seconds remaining here. As FaZe still holding on defensively. Clayster, he goes in, doesn't hit a bullet, and aBeZy annihilates him. Now, another streak from Arcitys.
Or he wrapped him, okay.
I didn't realize. I was like, wait, a cruise missile?
Yeah, it makes sense because he wrapped streaks. Yeah, okay, there we go.
Yeah. I mean, he was on, 9, 10 in a row, whatever it ended up being. This is the break. This is the moment. And Subliners get in. Arcity's got to love that, just staying up. Some damage in, repositions, but his teammates are falling. He's going to have to make the play. He's going to drop everybody falling outside of aLLeY. He's going to call it in. He gets it off. They're going to try and push behind it. Can't get gun up in time, but it'll get them off the point for a moment. It's enough time for his teammates to get back in. Play, though, is on the point. He's greeted by a nade. Mack, last alive in a 1 versus 2. Can he clutch up? First one down. Next fight is aBeZy. Can't quite do it. It comes down to a 1 versus 1. But the streak gave him a chance, and aBeZy ends it.
I love that play from Arcitys. He knows he has the artillery, and he just kind of calls it in, right? He kind of just panics. He just kind of hit it as fast as he could so that the artillery gets called in, and what does that do? That forces NYSL to panic. It doesn't even matter if that finds a kill. He wanted to get them off the point to buy time for his teammates to come off a spawn and get there. And well, when they're able to get there, they're able to clutch on up. It does come down to a 1v1, but it's aBeZy, and he wins those.
Well, it's again, it's what's so tough about early streaks. Like, you know, if you get them late, obviously, it can ice a game, or we've seen FaZe have 3 and not be able to win a game in a round 5. But when you get them early, it's like, if they're used well, the other team just doesn't really have a good chance. And Arcitys also is 19-6, which is a good stat line.
It is on the other side. I mean, Asim and HyDra solid. Need a little bit more from those ARs. And Mack and Clay, but it's going to be difficult when Arcitys is shooting lasers. But early on in this round, when Atlanta FaZe is fighting for that mid-map control.
How do you think you feel, though, if you're NYSL right now? I mean, you have a chance to bring it back here, but, like, you won the hard point, which you've been so good at. You know you're not going to beat them in every search, and control was going to be the iffy one. So, despite where they're at right now, do you think they're still feeling all right?
Yeah, I mean, they're still in this game. They win a defense here. Maybe they can earn some streaks, but, yeah, they know they have a hard point coming up next. Well, Moscow hard point, where they're 6-2. Yeah, and again, this is where your vocal leader in Clay, he's letting them know this is still a very long series no matter what.
Yeah, I wish we could hear just that conversation after this map, if they were to lose it. I know they still got a shot, but if they do, I'd be curious just to hear how that conversation goes down. Yeah, I think more pressure on him, for sure. Speaking of Clay, we'll go right over to his POV. Arcitys hasn't died a whole lot, but he'll add another death to that stat column. And it's tough. Like, Mack has been so good since he went to the flex. He's been so solid with that AR in hand, but Arcitys has been so insane, and Simp's been in your face. He hasn't really been able to get rolling here.
aBeZy's going to be done, and it was this transition that hurt them last time, not getting into their defensive setup. And they get caught again. aBeZy, he's going to find one. Simp with the other 2, and that's all 4 dead. They're going to stack this point. That might be the game. If Simp is able to get across, would be a little bit faster, but it's a triple stack. Here comes the last push.
The last push not in time. It is a dominant 3-0 victory there in the control. And, well, Joe, I think that highlights your concerns about the control matchup here. You thought FaZe had the advantage. They show you exactly why. Maybe not in the most expected way. I don't think we thought that someone was going to wrap streaks to start the game on a 9 spree. That didn't cross my mind, but regardless, they get the win.
Yeah, I mean, NYSL is really that round 1 because the defense was so strong early on. But yeah, Arcitys is able to get that spree. He doesn't die a lot. He's able to use those streaks to turn into a 1-0 offensive round win. Then you go to a defense where they've been so good. And yeah, just losing that first defense really hurt NYSL. Even right there in that round 3, it was pretty controlled by them up to the transition. They continue to lose those transition gunfights. They have to get into the defensive setup. I always talk about, like, you know, Toronto Ultra. They're so good at it. But that's what NYSL has to focus on. And yeah, I mean, Arcitys, Simp, not crazy in the damage-wise, but that's because it was 3 rounds.
Well, we touched on it a little bit, like, you know, with the prep you're able to do for a team, and the similarity between maybe Surge and Control, at least off the break, like, you can tell they put in work there. The breaks have still been good, and, you know, they've had really good breaks against teams where they've then pinned them in. They've dominated them. They've not gotten a point. They've closed it out. It's just not easy to do against FaZe, to hold them in that long. It's not going to happen. There's going to be a moment that they get through, and it's harder to prep for the next part, right? Like, once it gets a little bit mixy and they get the point, and the transition's happening, that's a little harder to scheme around.
Yeah, I mean, you can prepare as much as you want, but when you're getting gun, you're getting gun.
Yeah, and I think Arcitys was doing a bit of gunning there in the 3rd map in the series, but it's the best of 9 as we continue on here at Major 3, presented by Game Fuel. Arcitys is fired up, pumped up. He's been on. He was streaming early. He's been ready to fry, and fry he does. But we go to a hard point as NYSL try to get back into it after the break.
For the grind, for the hustle, I can't knock it. Do what it take, do what you do, you could try. I've been up, I've been stuck up in the sky. Only at the top, I can't lie. Haters watch it, throw them peace, tell them bye, 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 bye. I got things to do, I got bands to get. Competition up in smoke, ooh, cannabis. Ask me why I'm a top 10 candidate. I'm so fly, I'm so clean, ooh, and I'm rich. They can't stop it, they can't stop the kid. They can't stop it, they can't stop the kid. Check the scoreboard, I'm running up stats. Numbers don't lie, that's facts. They can't stop it, they can't stop the kid. They can't stop it, they can't stop the kid. Check the numbers, I'm running it up. I got penny bands, I'm thumbing it, yeah. Tell them move, get up out the way. It's ludicrous, yeah, how much I'm getting paid. 2, 4, 5, 7, 8, 10K. No mob ties for the player being made. Now how you spoke to your girl, better check her phone. And do you know what she doing when you not at home? And when she tell you she alone, but she not alone. She got a lot of options, any money more. She gon' do what she want, ain't no stopping it all. Hold a liquor in the cup, yeah, I'm topping it off. I might take your girl, take a trip to the mall. Put the shelf in the bag, yeah, cause I'm copping it all. I'm saying, they can't stop it, they can't stop the kids. They can't stop it, they can't stop the kids. Check the scoreboard, I'm running up stats. Numbers don't lie, that's facts. They can't stop it.
Joe, there are a few constants when you talk about Call of Duty esports. One, Scump is the king. We're all playing in his castle. The guy's a beast. 2, if you're hanging out with Doug Sinster Martin, you should probably check if he's wearing a wire. And 3, NYSL, their hard point is disgusting.
It is. The last 12 matches, 11-1. What their only loss was in that game 4 yesterday to Atlanta FaZe. But we're just going to take a look at their stats throughout stage 3 since they added HyDra. How good they've been. It's been dominant.
Yeah, it's been impeccable. And, maybe not going to win every one throughout the course of this series. That's going to be very tough to do considering, how many different maps you're going to have to play. Because I had it pulled up earlier, just thinking about how many of those wins. I feel like a majority of them came across like 2 maps, like all but 2 or something like that. I don't have it in front of me anymore. But they're going to have to play some maps they don't have as many reps on. Now, a lot of times when you're a really good hardpoint team, the map matters, obviously, but you'll be all right. It's just this team hasn't been together that long, haven't experienced a best of 9 like this. We'll see if it's going to be good everywhere.
Yeah, I mean, those 2 maps you're talking about have been Garrison and Moscow. They won Garrison, we're going to Moscow. Apocalypse is the other one that you could see Atlanta FaZe took that out of the series. So they're 3-0 on Moscow. Atlanta FaZe, though, this is still a very solid map for them. Overall on the year, they're 7-1. They're 2-1 throughout this stage. So before this stage, they were undefeated on it.
Yeah, you're right. So yeah, since 3 on Apocalypse, 4 on Garrison, 3 on
I'm
Moscow.
literally telling you,
one
I
went
had
on
it
right,
in front of me.
But we're gonna have. So what do we have? We have 1 that they haven't even played though. Then correct?
Yeah, checkmate.
Okay. Joe, I was trying to do without you in my own brain, and
I did have it pulled up. I was just trying to help you out.
You've always got my back. You've always got my back, Joe. And that's my bad for not believing in you. I'll be honest, I can't read and listen at the same time, so when I started to read the stats, I didn't hear anything you said. So that's my fault.
Perfect. I appreciate that very much.
I just realized I have this. I have a jar of syrup in front of me that is completely going to waste because Ultra.
Well, yeah, they're Ultra lost. Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. Maybe I'll pour it on myself for fun later.
I don't know. That doesn't sound too fun. Syrup gets everywhere, but all right. In a box.
Sticky. Yeah. Back to the Moscow. There's Mack. A little turn and burn. We'll see how dominant they can be here, but I feel like you're saying the same thing kind of over and over of really good map for NYSL, but also a really good map for FaZe.
Well, I mean, obviously that's just due to their year, but I'm more so saying like in stage 3, you know, this is where NYSL has been undefeated, but Atlanta FaZe, it's not like haven't played a ton of Moscow. They're 2-1. Still, good, like I said, a good map for them. So you have to see where NYSL maybe has that advantage in the hardpoint like they showed in Garrison. Because, I mean, Garrison hardpoint was probably Atlanta FaZe's best hardpoint map.
True. But it's our Game Fuel featured player. The greatest and most powerful thing to ever come out of France. He hopped off his POV, but I was loving it.
Now is the end of the setup.
Gonna get posted up, yep. There they go. See if they can hold on. Simp, he's able to take down 2. Asim just barely has the angle to close it out, but Arcitys is still here. What, 20 seconds left now on transition. Look at that number 8. That's aBeZy all the way on the other side, but Mack, attack. Ready to get that kill. On the other side of it's Clay. They got the angles locked down. Clay doesn't realize there's another one there already. It's Arcitys, the hero from that last map that is still alive and well, but Asim didn't like that.
I mean, that was perfect for NYSL, right?
Kills, dude. aBeZy kills me. Yeah. No, it was.
I mean, you get, what, 30, 40 seconds on the second hill. You get the early rotations, and then when I say it's perfect, it's Atlanta FaZe. We know how good they are at breaking hill setups. They do it there again. We're able to do it on the second hill. They get spawned out at old. They just push on through. 4 kills in a row for Atlanta FaZe, and they're on the Fountain Hill.
So how frustrating is that as a team? When you make the perfect play, right? You get the setup, but then you just get like out-skilled. You just get smoked. That's a triple for Arcitys. He's 12-5. I want to know every single thing he has done over the last 2 days. I'm going to replicate it for the rest of my life.
He has just been unreal in such good form. But yeah, you know, it's just really comes down to how clean it was. You can't go in those 3 to 4 down scenarios on those rotations, because that is when you spawn out. The good thing about having just spawns is when you get trades, you still have the close spawn. That's the advantage. But now we talked about Arcitys. aBeZy also on a 5 spree. They have a 30-point lead, and they turn this into some streaks.
I feel like usually when he's working on streaks, he ego chows 17 people and doesn't get them. So I want to go to an Astro listen and hear the comms, see if he actually tries to get these things.
I need a bus.
You're dead.
Gotta go.
Nice, that's on here. I just on me.
He's bus, right? Bus?
Killer. Nice. I'm going on new. I'm going to get time. Hold bus. Already on new.
Play one shot new.
Play new. Go.
Are we strong deep link? What's pitching? What's it gold?
He's on the car. Car. Right here. He's on the car. Let's get scrapped. MC, have him in.
Okay.
He's on the nice.
Not peeking. He's not peeking.
Good she's probably.
Last time in MC.
Yeah.
He's dead. He's dead.
How'd you get?
He's on the catch. He's on the catch.
Half place. There's gonna be a globe one half of time.
I don't see anything SQs.
I'll see my
SQs.
They're taking their globe fighter.
I have your SQs. I don't see anything.
Right.
Remember, they're gonna overshain.
I have your left.
Yes, I have
Left.
Another one left.
I fall close.
I'll see if I think they're spawning.
Take some time. He's taking corner.
Get the scrap. I'm beat right now. How many PS?
Yeah, they're spawning street. That's fine, Mack. Wait.
I'm reloading.
He's counting right. Still there.
Oh, a nuclear one shot.
Nice, Alex. Stay alive.
A nuclear one shot, good shot.
Alex, stay alive. Big time. That's big time.
Played it.
Three dead. Who's spawning out?
HyDra.
Go. I get them.
Who's spawning out? I'll see him closet.
Yep, I'll see closet. I'm flashing.
Top cop.
I got shot.
I can't.
Street dead. One street in Clay.
Miss his name.
Auto me, Clay.
I'm trying to hit front. Stay in the back.
How about that? I'm on a 4.
They're spawning street, okay?
Yeah, good play.
I'm gonna pinch front.
What'd you think, Joe?
I mean, you're just talking about, right? Who are we looking for? Where is he? Everybody stay alive. I mean, great from Atlanta FaZe, and they're just slaying so well. It was a back and forth affair until this point. They're able to spawn NYSL out. They get those 40 seconds. And who is it again on a streak? It's Arcitys. 17 and 11. He's got a one-on-one with Clay. Clay does win that one, though. And with that, that's going to be 3 dead. This could be a pivotal moment for NYSL, at least to get some time and to stop this from getting away from them.
Can we rewind to one thing real quick? Before listening, what did I say?
That aBeZy was going to jump out and die, yeah.
He literally got one bullet in someone, lunged out a window like a maniac, got stuck in the face with a nade. Like, I don't think he cares about streaks. He just wants to run.
Yeah, he just wants to keep fighting, right? Yeah. But on the rotation over to our third hill, NYSL, they were trying to get a couple of players from Atlanta FaZe to spawn it at old. Atlanta FaZe, they're going to try and lock this down, and they do a really good job on the rotation. Cellium all the way pushed out, and he can kind of tell where this push is coming from.
Let's see if they can hold it. Joe, do you feel like this is like, is this the map that, I don't know, can really, really shift the tides of this? Just considering the hard points is what you rely on, and you go up 3-1 if you're FaZe.
Yeah, your next 3 game modes in this are S&D, control S&D. So 100%, this could be the map where Atlanta FaZe, if they win this, they may win the whole major.
That's how I feel, and that's why I think, like, as much as there is pressure on NYSL, I gotta feel if you're FaZe, you're feeling that too. Like, I imagine the comms now, it's got to get to a point where it's like, boys, we close this out, we're winning this thing. So they got the pressure to do that. Granted, they got a little cushion with that pressure, as they've got a massive lead, but we'll see if NYSL can bounce back. And Clay, rally the troops and get them going. They can test this late into the map. Is Clay trying to do it himself as he's able to get the headshot onto Cell? Nobody.
Well, yeah, Clay's doing it himself. Clay's doing it himself, but so is Arcitys. I mean, you have the rotation for NYSL, but Arcitys killed his entire team. And now they have their close spawns. That was a chance for NYSL to put together a nice hill, but Arcitys just completely shuts that down. Now Clay's got to go and try to make a desperate play.
It just really feels like right now with like the top 3 teams, we can argue all day about who's got the higher skill ceiling. I still would argue FaZe has the most talented roster, but it just really feels like whoever is on point is 4 go down. That's a big moment for NYSL, maybe, but not much time to get. You will get mid control, but it just really feels like whoever is just, yeah, a little bit more prepped, a little bit more on point. It's going to be the small things between these types of teams.
Yeah, small things, and also Arcitys maybe in the best form we've ever seen him.
Is he evolving?
26 and 15. I don't know, dude. I have no idea. He might be hitting his final stage, yeah. But you said it was 4 down, but Atlanta FaZe, they fight right on back. HyDra, our game field feature player, having a solid game as a sub. We consider you're down 70. He's right around even. But with Cell and Arcitys playing this way, it's just so tough on a map like Moscow for NYSL to get comfortable.
Yeah, I think there were times that, you know, you just saw Simp and aBeZy take over so often. Not that you forget about what Arcitys and Cell can do, but you get reminded that they are just as talented. And that is what is so frightening about the team, is they have been insane. Cell will kill Arcitys, but they're lights out. They are up 100. They are close to going up 3-1. And as you said, with the next 3 maps the way they are, it doesn't cement it, but it does not look good for NYSL.
And, you know, you get on that rotation. They're just trading Arcitys. He's just making sure that that player's down. You never know.
Well, I was wondering, do you think, like, Simp seems like a nice kid, but he's got to know he's the best. You hear this French Simp stuff, you hear the comments, you lose to him in that one-on-one, which you want a gunfight and don't get it. He's got to want to smoke him, right? He's got to.
But I think this entire major has been redemption for Atlanta FaZe. They didn't have the strongest group stage. People are wondering what the heck's going on. They lost to Toronto Ultra. NYSL is on the up and up, and yeah, with the HyDra attention, with the Toronto Ultra attention, Atlanta FaZe is saying, hey, don't forget about us. We won the first one. We got second in the second one. We're here to play.
Yeah, well, I guess I'm wondering, like, obviously the main focus is the win, right? Like that's the redemption, the win. But I just feel there's got to be a little bit added here between the history with Clay and all the talk around HyDra, all the gassing of HyDra. You know, a little bit better of a KD than him in Hardpoint. we've been gassing him up. HyDra's been a beast, but I don't know if you're a competitive player in any esport or sport, and you hear it, you see it, you want to shut people up 100%. Let's check out the stats. It is a big win there for FaZe.
Yeah, I mean, I would say, of course, if it was Simp doing that, but it's not. It's Arcitys who's really just destroying this series.
Well, he was shooting his body. I was wondering if he was like shooting his body for Simp type thing, you know?
Okay, I mean, maybe. I think he's just doing it because he's double positive. It was destroying the control. Arcitys is on fire, and yeah, you go now to another search and destroy on Miami, where this is it. This could be one of those maps. NYSL, they need to bounce back here.
Oh, what? You're basically double positive. You rewrap streaks in the control. You go double positive there. Arcitys is leaving his mark. He has taken over this series as FaZe now command it. Up 3-1. 2 maps away from taking this best of 9 and getting their second major victory on the year, and a big old Duffy filled with cash. We got another map coming up after the break.
The Call of Duty League is presented by T-Mobile, now America's largest and fastest 5G network. Set your sights on the competition with T-Mobile, the leader in 5G.
T-Mobile All-Star Weekend voting closes today. Make sure to get your votes in at callofdutyleague.com. All-Star Weekend. Now there's dashes in there. It's all -star weekend, so don't mess it up. And on May 18th, come back and fill out your All-Star Pick'em bracket. So I'll tell you what, I need to go back and change mine because I don't remember who I picked, but I didn't have Arcitys on there, and he's on there just for the last 2 maps.
Well, Cell won it last year.
Oh yeah, that's right. He did. That was fun. The 1v1, like the gunfight thing, that was different. That was a good time. We've had all-star matches that have been crazy. I mean, back in IW, there were dogs eating each other. I didn't really know what was going on there. That one was a little more easy for me to follow.
Yeah, yeah. Those some of those specialists were a little crazy, but here's
it was a dog,
again,
a
maps
robot
and
dog.
Yeah, no, I don't know who came up with that one, but that was a crazy meeting. But we're going to Miami, search and destroy next. NYSL 1-0 throughout stage 3. You know, Atlanta FaZe, they have not played that, but here's a look from No, games 2. Who was it? It was aBeZy and Simp making those adjustments in Search and Destroy.
Yeah, it feels like we've kind of, outside of my love story to Clay, it feels like we've been taking a turn kind of gassing one of the FaZe players. Because, well, they're up 3-1, and aBeZy and Simp had the search. Arcitys has had the respawns. Cellium had the nutty plays. Like, they've individually been stepping up. Maybe the stat line in the game isn't balanced, but once we take a look at the overall series, I'm kind of curious where it lies, because they've all been popping off at their time.
Yeah, no, this gets interesting as well, because NYSL, it's all been about the prep work, but Atlanta FaZe hasn't played Miami this stage. Now, I'm sure they could go back, watch some of the old VODs. I'm sure there's some default strats that Atlanta FaZe will work with, but not a lot of VOD to study here for NYSL.
So the big advantage for NYSL coming through winners is, well, one, you get a little extra time to prep, but then you kind of dictate the beginning of the series in the sense, what, you get to pick the second search and destroy, right? So the Miami
get all the vetoes too. Yeah,
the vetoes, and then the Miami was their pick. So they need this. They need this. They have got to win this search and destroy. We have had, since the match last night, I mean, before that, I don't know what happened. It was weird. But since the match last night, it has just been game 5 bangers. I want to go the distance. So, Clay, I'm going to need you to give, hopefully during that break, the greatest speech the world has ever heard. I'm talking Independence Day from the president, like, you know, just dominating it. I hope it was epic.
Ready to go to war. Yeah, ready with the megaphone standing on top of the truck. Yeah, dude, I remember that one.
All right. See if they can bring it early. As we head to the nightlife of Miami.
Yeesh. Clay almost got smoked.
17 HP. Yeah, yes, he did. That's why he's just running the other way.
Yeah, I don't know. Was that Cell? See, Cell was getting wall banged. So I was like, nah, like, I'm done. Stop tickling me. Like, I'm not into this. Like, go away.
Well, Simp, AR in hand, set up at the kind of power position we've seen here at the boat. And it can be, you can either isolate that player or be tough to deal with. They're just going to take it to the other side of the map. They're starting to work their way towards B. Third player, maybe. Okay, Clay, that wasn't his round. That just wasn't his round.
Well, again, it's slow offense, right? Down to 30 seconds. That's when you're going to execute. But it's aBeZy able to find that first kill. He's got a Krieg back dumpster. They have to go. They're not going to have trophies either, right? So if there's nades from Atlanta FaZe, they can deal with this right away. Bomb is going to be planted. The shots are in. And now with the bomb down, you can make a round of this. But Simp is pushing the flank. But you got to deal with Mack and HyDra. And you know where they're going.
Yeah, it is not a pleasure to deal with that bit of cover you have here. This little back street, whatever you want to call it, it's not fun to deal with, but now it's all to HyDra. Up and over the top he goes. He's got Simp and Arcitys to deal with. They have been superhuman for this team. He's in between both. Can he get the stats? One will go down. 1 versus 1. 11 seconds to go. Can he get back to it? He's running. He's running. Not going to happen. No, the movement. What was that? It felt like he was walking.
Well, he didn't have time anyways.
No, he definitely didn't, but it felt really slow. I was waiting for him to strap on the Pumas and get moving.
I was about to compliment Atlanta FaZe and say I like that from Arcitys to wait for Simp to jump on down. HyDra just mantles up. But yeah, you get this bomb down, and when those players get away from Garage, they go to that lower dock. That staircase, that is where plays happen. It happens, and Asim, what a play to at least find one after planting that bomb. Because, you know, you're pretty much done. It is on your teammates. And HyDra, he clutches up.
I mean, we've seen one person get in that position, and depending on the time left, like, it feels like they can take on an army. Like, literally, one person can just shut everybody down. And they had 2 to deal with. They get the kills, but it comes in too late. HyDra gets 2 in the round, and you get started off right. And you get first-blooded, right? But you're still able to take it. Now, I do have a question, though. Will it be more difficult to dictate the pace in a sense that this map's a little bit slower by nature to begin with? Like, it's already going to be slower how they want to play it, but I guess how do you make FaZe play how you want them to here?
Well, it's probably because you're just playing this map. I mean, I think you kind of said it. The fact you're playing this map does slow down Atlanta FaZe.
Yeah. Okay, well, all right. Dumb question. I answered it myself. Thanks, Joe. Early. 2 kills here for NYSL. Wherever Clay seems to look, he is just greeted with bullets over and over again. Asim is going to drop there. Clay is able to hit the shots. Arcitys loses one of... he has lost many gunfights over the course of this series, but there, he will get dropped. Now, Cell, 1 versus 3. Bomb is out just deep in the sand. There is not anything he can do at all.
I thought maybe that nade was going to connect, but yeah, not enough time. All the Krigs just pointing at him, and you know, Arcitys in the 2v4 is able to find the first, and then he's taking the gunfights, and you can't really blame the guy because he is on point these last couple of maps. But Clay's able to shut that down, and now you're up 2 rounds in a row, and this is key for Atlanta FaZe to get back on track and win a defense.
See what they want to do in the hit this time. Defensively from FaZe. Cellium going to be lurking mid again, trying to get shots in. They're going to work beach side. And you don't really have a ton of eyes here outside of Arcitys. And we've seen one person hold. Incredible from this position. You know, somebody from Insight we've seen shut down a push single-handedly. Will it fall to aLLeY? The help is coming through, though. It's Cellium quickly in transition from mid. And I think Simp starting to head over as well.
Yeah, but NYSL know that, you know, they have some position.
Whoa.
Usually there's players pushed up, but they don't have to deal with that. Arcitys backs all the way up. You have Cell here. Does he know Asim is there? Doesn't feel like it right now. Can he get the first? Well, now he absolutely does. Everyone just kind of taking their time. Nobody wants to over-peak. The player moving up is going to be HyDra, but they have to work the bomb again. Cell not able to catch anyone. He's so good with that movement, just playing his life, gaining information.
Oh, we're back to the NYSL offense. You wait till about 20 seconds is left, and then you try to make a play. There's the first blood. But you still got to get this down. And there are still bodies here from FaZe. The work across to the plant. Cellium tries to catch someone, won't get a great timing. Nice little snap from aBeZy. The trade is there. Arcitys now in the mix. Nice shots to close it out as NYSL go up 3-0. And you bide your time. You wait to that 20-second mark, and I got to think that opening kill from Mack is really what shifts things here.
Yeah, Mack's able to get this kill, but then this one, like Clay is watching driveway, right? Because there could be a player in that spot. The main player is Mack getting the bomb down. He has to get that down with the time remaining. And just the fact that he turns at the right time in what aBeZy has to shoot at him, that allows HyDra to know there's a player in that position. He covers the bomb planner and is able to work that trade. Even with man advantage, aBeZy has the chance to put the round away due to the clock. But NYSL, right place, right time. And now look at this. This is a 4-hit B on defense from NYSL.
Trying to change the pace a little bit. You lull him to sleep, then you strike. Not able to catch one, and now FaZe. They know what's
like, that's a free bomb plant, thanks.
Yeah, exactly. Look at the opposite side. Bomb going down. He's got cover from the ship. And now you've got to get the views. You've got a bit of map to progress across. You get one person here, but Simp is still here. Can they track him down?
Well, look at Clay. He takes the long route, and it's going to turn into a kill. It's going to turn into a kill. Simp's like, all right, I got to get to my teammates, but Clay goes all the way around. Now 20 seconds left, 7.5 to defuse. Arcitys, he's ready for it. He is ready for it, able to find the first Cell on that boat. Could be so strong, but it's down to Arcitys.
1 versus 2, and Mack, the first blood hero of the last round, gets the final one. And they go up 4-0. They need this map so bad, and they've been perfect so far. But I love that from Clay, because when you think about it, my first thought is probably, you know, what Sim's thinking, in the sense of a lot of times in that situation, a team will realize there's one they're missing, and they sort of say, screw it, let's just take the 4-on-2. Like, go ahead, hang out. We're gonna push it. Sim probably thinking that is like, I got to try and catch these guys, or my teammates are going to get punished and isolated. And Clay, a long route, it pays off. Heads up play from Clay.
And even just like I don't know, the unity right there for Mackie Clay. Like Mack goes for the slide, wins the gunfight. Clay's like, I got the bomb, slides in right around 8.5 seconds. Trusted his teammate to get that kill. They're up 4-0.
Oh, that's an interesting thing you say about kind of trusting your teammates. How long does that kind of take to develop when you have a new squad? Is it pretty instant if things are vibing? I got to imagine it's a big part of the squad.
Yeah, I mean, these guys seem to have a lot of trust in each other, the way they play, especially hardpoint. And I mean, that's just the situation, though, right? I mean, Clay knows I have to get on this defuse. So as much as like that's him trusting his teammate, he just also knows it's the only way they can defuse the bomb.
I guess I'm more meant in general, just like, you know, relying on your teammates, the belief in them. I'm sure for some teams maybe a little bit harder than others. So when you see instant success, it makes it probably a whole lot easier. As Cellium, this time a much needed first blood, but instantly gone as HyDra is ripping people at range with a sub in hand. And Mack now 6-1, 6 in a row. What a map Mack is having is, we haven't said his name a lot throughout the course of this series so far. It's been kind of quiet. Not quiet here. He's winding up.
And we just felt like this is a map that they needed, and they are responding in such a dominant way. Going to be up 5-0. Mack, if he's able to find the kill, does he get full streaks? He probably does. On his in just to try to find out where he's at. And I think they're just going to try to bait for Mack. Try and bait for him, and it doesn't work out, but they get the round win.
Oh, wait, he killed Mack too, didn't he?
Yeah, that's what I meant. Like, yeah, Mack kind of got smoked,
I thought he didn't get the kill, and I was like, oh, he actually gets it too. So that backfired. That backfired completely. Because where did we see it? What, in the OpTic Ultra match? They set up Cammy. It was great. You know, he gets the streaks. That's the other side of the setup is Simp just ends up smoking your player close to streaks. But the good thing is you're up 5-0. You've dominated here. And what did you say the last time we saw FaZe here? Because I know this sounds insane, but the last time I remember seeing them here was versus OpTic Stage 1 forever ago. But I know they played it more, but I can't even remember.
It's been a while. But they
like
kind of go back to one of their default strats, right? Just aggression out of B. But NYSL, they 4-stacked this again, so they're there for the trades. So we're quickly into it. Well, one-on-one now.
A one-on-one for the map. Captain Clay. Father Time. Looking to cement this one with a massively needed win. And these are the fun one-on-ones when you've got a ton of time on the clock. And you see the bomb just hanging out. Clay can't find it though. Cellium reads it. And FaZe finally get their first round.
That's just the fact that aBeZy's able to get to there. He's got a player right behind him. I think that's who Mack's able to take down. That forces the 2v2. And then, just quick trades around that B site. And as you said, finally get on the board for Atlanta FaZe. Should try to win one round at a time.
Yeah, I mean, it's never a fun spot to be in, but I guess when you get to this point and, you know, you have a lead in the series, it's just sort of like, all right, we're getting smoked. If we lose, we lose. Let's just try to bring it back and win it round by round. I mean, it's hard to believe in at this point, but there's no pressure. No one expects you to win. Play. After losing the one-on-one, we'll get the first blood. Of course, it's Arcitys on the other end of it. Lurking his way up at the bomb. And we saw him do this a couple rounds ago. Asim is biding his time. We'll wait till about the 20-second mark and we'll plan our attack. But no, they find the opener there. Lovely team shot, as you said.
Yeah, and then they're just going to try and cross this bomb. I mean, I was wondering what they were going to do. It seemed, though, he has to play his life. He is under pressure. There's not a lot of time, so he kind of has to go, and Simp's here. So now, what does Asim want to do with the bomb? Him and Mack, they have to pick and choose. Simp is getting all the information, and now Arcitys knows there's a better team shot with a 74U. That's bomb. That could be round. And I think it will be. Mack, just not enough time to do everything.
Is that just one of the unfortunate consequences of taking your time in some of these offenses? Like, you get caught in transition there with, what, 30 or so seconds? You can't plant the bomb in the middle of the street, unfortunately. And what was he supposed to do when Arcitys had eyes?
Well, that's just, I mean, Miami search. You know, we have seen this a lot of the times. Just kind of develop and teams taking middle of the map, and then, you know, a player drops down one side. They're thinking, we're good. There's a response. They want to try to wrap it the other way. But he gets caught. Yeah, I mean, you would love for him maybe to be in a spot where he can go back all the way through Hotel, but 30 seconds left, just caught in the middle of the map. It's tough for Asim.
Yeah, I felt you could just see him like, what do I do? What do I do? Once the shots came in.
Yeah, he put a trophy on his feet. He's like, you guys got to help me. You have to help me take this player down.
Exactly. Well, from 5-0 to 5-2. We'll see if it's too little too late or the beginning of something special for Atlanta FaZe. They certainly have the capability to rip off that many rounds in a row, but all it takes is one shining moment from NYSL to close this out and bring this a little bit closer.
You know, I think
3-2 in the overall series.
Curious to see how Atlanta FaZe play this, because you have Asim in a really sneaky spot, but the B players, they aren't on the site, so I'm wondering if you're going to rotate this bomb off. No, they are not. So they're going to force aBeZy and Simp to work the middle of the street to find the picks. And aBeZy, he's like, yeah, I could do that. I'm down to work the middle of the map. There is a quick trade, but this round on Asim, he could end it right here.
Lurk roll, it pays off, and the trade not there yet. Cellium trying so desperately to hunt it down. There he gets the kill. 2 versus 2. Play. Next up the bat. 12 seconds to go. As you mentioned, it could happen on Miami, where you've got little to no time to work with. Simp's got to be the point man, the cover man. As his teammate looks to plant, he's able to do it. Bomb gets planted. Mack now, 1 versus 2. Can he be the hero that NYSL are starting to desperately need?
Oh boy. Noel Cell, he's been so good at this, using his movement to stay alive. Buys the information. Simp, watching the cross, still has a nade. He's got another nade, just going to slow him down, make this even harder. Cell peeks again, Simp with the shots. And they are staying alive 1 round at a time.
Yeah, no, it doesn't look like... If Cellium's only thought is staying alive, it does not look fun to try and kill him whatsoever.
No, I mean, I think Chance was talking about it last series. This guy, I don't know. He might have, like, the strongest right thumb in the world. He really may. Like, the dude is constantly moving, constantly crouching.
Varsity thumb war champ type ability.
Yeah, just both of them, though.
Hey, that's impressive. I mean, some people are good with 1 thumb. Being good with 2. Whew. 3 in a row. You start to think, if you're in YSL, you know, you go from feeling really good about the map to every round that pressure creeps in a bit. And up over the wall goes Cell. They're all in front. Oh, Lord Almighty. I don't know how everyone's alive, but he stays alive for a while. They get a kill mid-map as well. Man advantage to FaZe. Unreal.
Did find an opening, though. Nobody in the back alley. So both Arcitys and aBeZy, they might get flamed here. This might be 2 freebies for NYSL. HyDra is just going to be like, hello, I'm here to check in.
Surprise! Team France coming at you. 1 does get out, but right into Mack, who is waiting. They can win it here. 25 seconds to go. Simp, 1 versus 2. Doesn't finish it. Still got a plant. That is not an easy gunfight at that range. He's on 5 in a row, but could matter if he somehow pulls off this clutch. The good thing is, I guess they don't get set up to that naughty dock you were talking about. But it's not a whole lot easier from this. POV is 180s right now out of Simp, but the movement not going to matter. NYSL, they close it out. You know they were starting to feel the pressure. FaZe was bringing it back, but they get it done, and yeah, it's HyDra just creeping up the mid-street, catching them off guard, open up that FaZe defense.
Yeah, I mean, they just take the risk. aBeZy and Arcitys, nobody watches the flank. That forces aBeZy to have to try and make a play. He runs into another NYSL player, and yeah, they knew where Simp was because he took down Clay in the middle of the map. They're able to get the bomb down. Nobody over challenges. NYSL, much needed, still alive in this series.
Well, we're right back to kind of where we started in the sense of just thinking of these 2 teams battling. You figure there's going to be some splitting with regards to the search and the hard point. The big question, the spotlight still on the control. And And that's going to be the big thing. Can NYSL, can they get a control victory? Is there a 3 in this best of 9? But stats-wise, HyDra, again, he just went from a 0.5 to dominating, just picking it up, making the plays. And it seemed to happen so quickly for him. I don't know. The guy's nuts.
Yeah, he's just confident. He's got it under his belt right now.
You gotta like it. A little creepy. Lurk right up the street, makes the play, and they are able to take it. And yes, as you said, one step closer, little fist bumps out for the squad. Smiles from Asim. NYSL, they're alive and well within this series as the best of 9 marathon continues on. It's the Major 3 final presented by Game Fuel, and we've got more coming at you after the break. Let's take a look at all 8 players. The trust, belief in each other, their teammates, their squad mates. And Joe, I'll tell you what, I couldn't be happier to have a teammate like you.
Thanks, man. If you are the hard carry, you're the GOAT. So, yeah, I mean, you know, it's just an honor to be here.
I hate you. Well, all right, let's get back into this. And it's the
I'm
control,
serious.
right? That's what the focus is on. Well, I love you. I appreciate the gas, man. It's like Clay, you know, gas and HyDra. You bring me up when I need it, man. It's fantastic stuff, but entering today, that's the control KD ranks, and that's out of 59 players. So outside of Mack, it's not great, considering they're a top 3 team.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, exactly that. The way that their hardpoint is looked in, you know, it's a respawn mode. So usually that kind of translates, but it hasn't for NYSL. And, you know, we looked at map number 3, Garrison Control. It was all Atlanta FaZe. It was Arcitys going on a big spree, wrapping score streaks. You don't see that every day. Now, I guess the one good thing is we're going to checkmate Control. This is a map where Atlanta FaZe, they don't play it that often. They haven't played it in stage 3. So maybe NYSL, they find an opening here.
And how incredible it would be. We were a bit worried after the hard point that might be the moment it really shifted it, and it did, but just for a second, it felt like, as they really took over in the search and destroy. But how big a control win would be. Can they catch FaZe, or does Arcitys come out and dominate yet again? I'm hoping for a more competitive one, because yeah, the last one, it got out of control so fast.
It got out of control. Yep, I like that one, Miff.
That wasn't even intentional. That was just my brain being good.
But like I said, you know, NYSL 1-2 throughout stage 3. Atlanta FaZe, they have not played this. They're only 2-200 on the year. So if that tells you anything, their home has really been on raid and Garrison for control.
I mean, they're so good here in search. not the same at all, but like they've got some really impressive wins on this map. Just, yeah, don't see the control all that often. See what they look like. I mean, there's been a lot of conversation around FaZe in the past 2 stages, how they've worked to widen the map pool. This just hasn't been one you see a ton.
Yeah, and I think maybe for them, thinking Ultra is their biggest threat, where do you think you're going to play the most control versus them? It's Garrison and Raid, and that has been the case. So maybe that's why we didn't see too much in stage 3.
Well, yes, and also the fact that 99% of the time you're playing a best of 5. If you're good at 2 controls, you're fine. The only time you have to worry about all of them is the final. That's it. And you probably still feel okay if you're FaZe if you're good at 2 and 3.
Yeah, they're feeling okay so far in this round, that's for sure. Up 6 lives, full map control, no progress done on any of the objectives. And respawns right now. They're not giving NYSL an inch.
Given absolutely nothing. They're all spawning up right now with 10 seconds left, and they're just being greeted by Cellium. Arcitys is hanging out in their spawn. He's building the house. Lord knows what he's doing. Yeah, I mean, okay, I guess we're right back to what we saw in the last control. At least you don't have 7 streaks for Arcitys, but they just never found a foothold whatsoever. It was locked down by FaZe.
Well, they got to be careful because I don't think aBeZy died throughout that round. So he's on 5 or 6. We'll have to see when we spawn into round 2. But there is a player or 2 working on some streaks for the side of Atlanta FaZe. So this breakoff could determine that. Yeah, 5-0. We'll see if he can turn that into anything. You know, not the craziest on checkmate with all the cover overhead, but we've seen some plays, especially around, you know, that B point. If you can just put the artillery down front wood where the defensive teams cannot run into it, that buys you enough time to win you that round.
Well, yeah, I mean, streaks are almost always going to be a good thing, and like, unless you're Kleenex, like, you're going to get something out of it.
He just keeps going. You know, he found number 6, but he just ran into the pre-fire.
Yeah, that's all he does. He does not care about streaks at all. I'm starting to think he doesn't even want them. Like, he doesn't want the responsibility of it or something. Like, he's like, I don't want streaks. I don't need them.
On my own score streak, it's not a problem. I got it.
Trust me, if you hadn't noticed that before I said it in the last one, or in that the map 4, start to really pay attention to it. It's every time. Tell me the last time you saw aBeZy call a streak in.
Heck if I know.
He hasn't used one this entire year because he just runs.
I don't know if that's true.
Go find me a clip of him using a streak.
I'm sure somebody will. I'm sure somebody will. I feel like he's at least get it once, but...
Find me one.
Well, you needed a response from NYSL. You're getting one here. Atlanta FaZe had good map control, but it has been all subliners. That's 4 dead.
There we go.
Talking about streaks. Yeah, NYSL. They're starting to work on some as Asim's on 4 in a row.
That's what you need. I mean, you get locked down. It's probably a very frustrating offense. Give it right back to him. Is HyDra, much like we saw Arcitys on the other side of this, just lurking. That's not going to be a fun death as you're getting shot in the back towards your spawn. 4 down again. And yeah, there's been no offense. This reminds me, it's like a one of those wintertime NFL games you're watching. It's like a 6-3 game. Your Browns are probably playing because they're scoring 6.
You're probably not wrong. But no, this reminds me of stage 1. I mean, just nobody could really get anything on offense. We didn't see it that much because it was so defensively favored.
So it's back to that whole combo. Who's going to strike first on offense? Here we are again. Yeah.
Well, and you have no. I don't think either team got 1 tick of objective either. So for round 5, it could come down to those kills.
No one even saw it. It has been so one-sided for the defense. But Clay will carry a 4 streak into this. Well, that's done. The Simp gets the opener. Asim, though, on the other side of it, trying to be the playmaker as 2 of his teammates drop around him. And well, he touched the zone for just a bit to remind him it's there.
Yeah, I thought FaZe actually had one. They were very close on A last round, just off the break, but I guess they didn't get done with that first hit. And now you're kind of in this position again where the offensive team has no map positioning. Asim with some nice shots onto aBeZy. They open up that A lane. but they're fighting over plane. Maybe with that 2 from HyDra, they can get going.
45 to go. You only got a couple more pushes, really. You got to avoid that 3 or 4 down. There's 1. There's 2. Play, though, at least able to stay up. But Arcitys, again, is somebody just pushing forward towards the spawn of the offense. Making it so difficult to get going. And if you're down, I mean, we could skip to the round 5. Just get right to it.
Yeah. I don't know, though. It depends. I don't know who will have defense.
Well,
So we gotta have round 4.
If no one gets any part of the objective, like, let's just assume that's going to be the case and hop forward.
Hold on.
Arcitys just check. Here we go. Give me a tick. Come on. Give me a tick. Yes. NYSL strike first.
It might get a whole zone here. aBeZy takes down his teammate. You still have two on it. Are they going to give this up? They are. Okay, so they're just going to keep the advantage that they have. They're going to back up and force NYSL to play off of this. They're able to get 2.
How clean can they transition this? Simp is going to be the guy that can probably disrupt this. Another teammate falls. It's the tiny tears. They're the ones that are going to collapse. What a great job from aBeZy staying alive. He baits. Arcitys picks up the kill. Simpton pounces in, and that clean transition now gone. Arcitys gets 3, but I think everyone's focused on killing aBeZy there, and Arcitys probably gets some freebies.
Yeah, no, he looked like a breakdancer. He was sliding backwards, sideways, and then jumping up, and now he's hitting people in the face with grenades.
He has been compared to a young Tom Brady.
I don't think Tom Brady can breakdance.
Tom Brady can do anything, Joe. That's insane. We got another shot. It's going to be 2 down again with 25 seconds to go. Another bullet. Probably gets it, but Clay finishes it. Cell, though, just lurking, waiting, biding his time to pounce and close out this round. And it'll be their turn to see what they can get done on offense. It'll be a contest for now as everything comes to a standstill and Clay just slithering, sliding right on through. Unfortunately, though, none of his teammates get a kill. Clay's trying to do it all himself. Down to 4 seconds. That's your teammate. Teams from Clay. Simp is in. Simp, though, able to get both, and FaZe will hold on at the second objective. But now the pressure on them to get something done today. That was, Clay gave him a shot, right?
Yeah, almost great plays out of Clay. I mean, you know, you're in a 5v8. I think it was the lives around that. You know, Clay, if he's able to find another kill, that could turn into a stack at B. That's when things get very messy for the defensive teams. Now can Atlanta FaZe do the same thing? We see some breaks too. I wonder, like, maybe off the break if they try to go towards B off the start. You're seeing that really work. One team that really comes to mind is London Royal Ravens and some things they like to do.
True. That might be it. Some of aBeZy lived in the plane the search. Might as well get back to their natural habitat. It's Air Force Tiny Terror. That was horrible. Simp is still here, though. 4 in a row, and again, just able to sneak away with his life. The help comes in the form of Arcitys. Haven't really got anywhere yet, but they have a presence here in plane. Oh, he almost gets the snap, but that'll be 3 down now as Clay, Asim, Mack, and Asim again. They get all 4 in every trophy. Get it off the map. Woo!
Well, you get back into this territory. Atlanta FaZe, they just cannot find anything on offense. And they're already down 7 lives. They are trapped on their side of the map. As Mack is finding kills. Asim with another one. Play adds on to that. And yeah, I mean, the way we're thinking, they're going to have another offensive round. Yeah, and they have found nothing.
It's odd to me, and obviously it's one of the thrilling things about Call of Duty is we have the various modes, but what are they good at usually in search? The attack. What are they good at in hardpoint? The break. Like, you feel like the offense into control would be where they'd be at their best, but this map can be tough, and you're playing intense competition here in NYSL. As again, they just set up a wall to lock out FaZe. You won't see 2 better defenses. Like, that was impressive.
Yeah, 2 better defense or 2 horrible offenses, really.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
Not great from Atlanta FaZe, but they're going to have to try to find something. With the objective work that New York was able to find in round number 3, Atlanta FaZe, they have to be better here, or the series is going to be tied up 3-3.
Said it many times. In NYSL, get that control win they so desperately need in this best of 9. This is their opportunity. They've been locked down on defense. They just got to do it one more time. Sometimes it's hard to find things in 3s.
There's that switch up, though. They're on the B. They're on the B. You have a lot of map positioning. They switched off their break off. They're able to get 3 down. Clay, though. Clay trying to make the play. You're on both points. They're just finding the kills right now. NYSL, they got to group up.
Well, this is probably the first time they've had to scramble, right? Like, it's been pretty comfortable for the most part. Now you just feel the pressure. It's like, where do we go? How do we pick this up? They got to pick a site and they got to push it out. They're going to hit towards B. They fly in, Simp, ready and waiting. They're able to take him out, but A just about to finish up. It gets secured. And Clay takes down 2 at least to make sure there's nothing clean, no funny business from FaZe to get across quickly. As Clay has had a ton of multi-kills throughout this.
It really has, but Arcitys was able to find 1, and Arcitys is going to make sure that they do not lose map control. And look at this, the transition is in. They're on to B, 2 players up top. It's going to be Mack and Asim, and Asim, he finds 2 kills. That'll slow things down. aBeZy, the last one alive. You would love to see him stay up. He goes for the challenge.
aBeZy went for a challenge? Nah.
Yeah, he did.
Lives.
Look,
you're up 2 if you're FaZe. You got a lot of time. I mean, that was the cleanest capture we've seen. You had over 2 minutes to work with. It's not the end of the world. He gets shut down, but Asim, he's the one that gets it done. Can you trade effectively here if you're NYSL? Avoid the big playability of FaZe. Win it here. Tie it up. Let's go the distance. I want a map 9. We'll cast all night. Joe and I have to be up at 4 a.m. for a flight to LA tomorrow. Can't wait.
Well, Asim, he was on a spree. He would have had number 5. But they just kind of play around the kills right now with a minute left. They're only down to 9. Yet you see Sim's position as well off a spawn. He's going to be cutting them off, selling the plane. They're going to stop the clock. This is beautiful from Atlanta FaZe with the map control. They do take down Simp, but there's not a stack. And because there's no trophy, the nade is on point.
Wait, 1 is a stick. The boys hit their shots.
It's all dead.
And they'll retake
4
it.
in a row.
They'll retake it. That massive life advantage gone for now. But it's back to what we, early checkmate. That battle of attrition. Will it come down to the lives? We've had some epic moments here, man. When it comes down to like a 4 versus 4, it gets intense around the point. Can we get there? Quality beams again from Clay as the wall bang is in, but it's aBeZy. He is soaring.
Yeah, him and Cellium able to find some kills with 25 seconds left. Even though you're down 4, your biggest ally is the clock right now. aBeZy trying to find anyone off spawn. The contest is in. Asim and Clay find kills. aBeZy, though, is still here. Trying to do what he can. But it all comes down to this. 10 seconds. Asim, he's going to find 1. They have to get on the point with man advantage. They got to go.
7 seconds, they're on it. No respawns remaining. It's just going to be on Asim now. It's just on Asim to make the play. 5 seconds.
He might have done it.
Coming in is Arcitys.
He might have done it.
Arcitys is soaring in. He can't win it. Arcitys gets in. He wins the gunfight. He was a beast in the first control, and here he wins the final gunfight. Oh my God.
I thought Asim made the plays. It was Simp on one end, Asim on the other, but it's Arcitys and that Decemate. That thing is like a pocket shotgun for him. He does not miss. He wins that 1v1. I think it's done. But Arcitys, who has been so clutch, does it once again for Atlanta FaZe.
When you said I think he did, I looked at the minimap. I'm like, I don't know. I think he can get there. There's a couple seconds, and he just comes sliding in, and he is pumped up out of his seat. I don't know where he's going, but he's out of there. Let's take a look at it one more time, and I know some, maybe you don't love checkmate control, but it leads to moments like this. Intense in the lives count, clock at a standstill. It's a blast.
Well, and I mean, Simp, if he doesn't get a multi here, the game's probably done, because someone trades that with Asim no matter what. So beautifully done by him. While you have Asim going off, it's Simp on the other side. aBeZy was still here, and you're into this 4v7, but everyone besides aBeZy is off of spawn. So everybody's kind of repositioning, getting ready for this push. But watch number 7. Simp is currently on the point right now, and he just has to play his life. It's down to him, and he guns 2. He guns 2, and what? We're down to 2 seconds. Arcitys is there with 1.5. Yeah, if he wins that, it's done. It's over.
Oh, yeah, 100%. 100%. The other player was off a spawn a bit, but he's not getting there in a second and a half. Asim nearly the hero. But it's Arcitys again in a control that comes up huge. They take the advantage again. Well, a 2-game advantage, that is. They're up 4-2. Stats-wise, Asim, you have a great map. On the other side of it, pretty balanced, but Simp leading the way from a kill standpoint. Cell goes -4, but he's got the most damage on the squad.
Well, not to happen on a map like this with ARs, right? You're just putting damage in, especially inside the plane.
Oh, unbelievable. But FaZe are fired up after a clutch victory in the final seconds of the control. Arcitys, he's running a lap. The other guys, they're hopping, high-fiving. Celebration all around, but the work is not done yet. One more map and they enjoy the $200,000 first place prize. They already got some of it in their hands there for the first major win. We continue on after the break. Atlanta FaZe on the brink of another major championship, one map away. We talked about Clay earlier. If there's anything this guy has done throughout his career, it is rebound. And you see his face now. He is getting locked in. The boys have a lot of work to do. They cannot drop another map here. How insane it would be, but it is gonna be tough.
I mean, that's just, you know, we talk about small things, 1v1s. That was one of them right there, and that control, I could have tied the series up 3-3, and then it's best of 3 at that point. But as you said, now you have to be perfect if you are NYSL and win 2 search and destroys against Atlanta FaZe.
Well, in case you joined us late, I know, well, I mean, the best of 9, it's a long matchup here in the final. It really puts teams to the test, and what I love about it is it displays strengths across, you know, various maps and modes. You've got to have a wide map pool for this if you're going to be in a final and you're going to get a victory. It really tests, I guess, your depth as a team over the course of a title.
Yeah, and I mean, listen, these 2 search and destroys, by the way, if they can get to the game 9, it's Express. That's where NYSL has looked so good. Just to look at the stats from game 5, HyDra really had a great game. I mean, they dominated, though. What was it, 5-0 on Miami Search. But S&D Raid, this is one where they beat Atlanta FaZe in a round 11 in the group stage. So what did they learn from that? These are not bad maps down the stretch for NYSL whatsoever.
Yeah, and when I think Express, I mean, there's 2 things that come to mind for FaZe when you think about what they were working on over the course of this stage. What was it, Joe? It was APOC and Express, right? We saw a lot of that. Eventually, it's kind of funny, but they played so much APOC and tried to get better, and they just kept losing that I think they ended up actually banning it here. So that didn't work out. But Express, I think, was like 50-50, right? They saw some wins, saw some losses, but never really got to a point where, I don't know, they're a dominant search team like they are on some other maps.
Yeah, and it was one NYSL won yesterday, and their winners final was in that round 11. Yeah. So they'll be confident they can stick to their strategies. It's just this raid and checkmate hardpoint.
What was the one? Was it Mutineers they played there too? And it was absurd. Clay like literally could do no wrong. He looked like God on the map.
Well, yeah, they hard countered the heck out of Mutineers.
Yeah, no, that was I felt bad for Mutineers in that. That was insane. But aBeZy, shocking, a first blood. Oh, they line up for a second for HyDra, but aBeZy able to snap. So he's got 2 in the round. Now Mack, can you go big? They're all just stacked up in courtyard. There's the first. We'll expect the second. He doesn't. Round 1 to FaZe.
That's Atlanta FaZe just working the water stairs to deal with the 2 players. Usually the SMG duo, and that's who it was. They go Zig, they go water stairs, they deal with the middle setup. They have the man advantage. aBeZy is 1 HP. It's all down to Mack. A nice offense in round 1.
In FaZe, you know they can be scary here. I mean, just think of the battles they've had with Ultra. We know how good Ultra is here. They're able to beat them. It's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. And can they dictate the pace as much here? You know, we said Miami kind of does it itself. They really work to do that on the first search and destroy. What can they try to do here?
Well, I think you can play really patient. You can wait on sort of the flanks or what Simp is a player, right? Especially for Toronto Ultra. The first time, they were able to take care of it, but the second time, they countered him a bit. But yeah, I mean, it has been clean so far here on Raid. Play is left in a 1v4. aBeZy with another multi-kill.
2 rounds, 2 first bloods for aBeZy. You know, there's a lot of different spots he can hit you from. So maybe I ask you a different question. Like, okay, it's 2 rounds. He's gotten 2 first bloods. He has caught someone. How do you try to limit that?
Well, I mean, you always are kind of knowing that it's coming, right? Yeah, I mean, just going to have to get a little bit creative. Stack some bomb sites on defense. Again, you know, Raid is a map where you could retake it. Maybe you can give up map control if you want. Play 1 bomb, whether it's that B or A, just kind of force stack it. But it looks like they're going to go back to middle. NYSL and just probably have someone watch their water stairs this time. But, well, guess what? Atlanta FaZe is going to tap from the other side through pillars. They don't care. They said, we're going to go water steps. Next offense, we're going right back at you through pillars. And again, a 1v4 for Mack.
Hey, guys, it's me, Mack. Where'd everybody go?
I'll see you later.
Where'd everybody go? Oh, you're out there. I'm coming. Wow. These rounds have been over before they started, and it's a scary sight on the FaZe side when they are smiling, laughing. It looked like they just know they have this in the bag.
Well, at least off that, I mean, yeah, off the start. But again, they did lose to NYSL earlier in the stage on this map. So I think NYSL was feeling pretty good. But these rounds, very quick. And now here is that hard. Oh, what in the world? What?
All right, just kill him so we can get to the best play.
That was done. We're done.
Get me to the best play. Is that
I
the
gotta
fastest
see
round?
this.
The fastest round in the history of Search and Destroy. You just saw it.
Hello?
What? Was that OpTic?
Come on, man. Like what?
It's not too soon now.
Well, they just lost their kind of.
Oh, come on. That was last major.
Sorry, Greenwall.
That's got to be the fastest round in the history of anything.
Well, we've had that before where, yeah, teams die. I mean, it ties it. Yeah, it definitely ties it.
FaZe trying to stamp their second major win with emphasis in this Search and Destroy, but finally a semblance of life out of the Subliners. They get some kills. There you go. Asim with a nice chow, but Cellium, he is still up. He just dropped the nuke on your entire team, but HyDra gets the angle. There you go. A round in. Some belief, maybe, because I don't know what you're thinking after the first four.
Yeah, you got to slow this down. You know, Atlanta FaZe, I mean, they make a really good call. They get the bomb down. Mack, though, was able to take down Arcitys and force the 4v4, or sorry, the 3v4 with man advantage. But it's what you want if you're Atlanta FaZe. It was pretty weak towards the A side. They get the bomb down. It's just the picks afterwards.
Well, it seems like if NYSL can survive the opening 10 seconds, they got a shot. So maybe, I don't know, do what you can to not have it be that.
Maybe just sit here in the garage.
Yeah, no, like, yeah. Try not to have this massive collision with FaZe in the early part of the round. FaZe are going to send it, though. They are soaring up mid. Trying to get the angle through pillars again, but it's going to be Subliners on the opposite site. Lurking Zig is Mack.
Well, that's the strength of defense. This is what you want. You want your sub duo in mid-courtyard. They can just transition to both bombs. And the way they're playing this, you have Simp who's getting all the information at B. aBeZy's getting all the information at A. Arcitys is watching over them. And Cell's like, all right, you know, if Simp sees something, I'm there to help him. So this is like a two-man setup with some crossfires, and it's going to work out. Simp gets the call out. He sees the cross. Cellium gets a free kill. But aBeZy now is going to be isolated, and Mack with the nade able to take down two.
That is huge from Mack. HyDra will get caught, though, transitioning out. So to a 2v2 we go with 30 seconds on the clock. And Cellium, a huge win, a huge finesse, and a little drop shot, hop, skip, do whatever you want to call it. Cell with the movement. That, it does not look fun to play against at all.
No, he destroyed him.
Woo, 7-1 from Cell. One more round. And it's another championship for FaZe. The Revenge Tour nearing its conclusion.
Okay, so they stack that bomb site. They adjust. They don't go middle of the map. Now you know that it's going to be a bomb plant at A. They're trying to isolate Simp. Is Simp going to be ready for 3? I doubt it. Clay has to stay alive on the other side. Simp is at least able to get 1, and now you're just wasting time if you're Simp. Arcitys is there to help him. A 2v4 now for Atlanta FaZe.
And look to close it out. Asim gets gunned all on Clay. And it's done. FaZe, their second win on the year. And my God, did they put a statement on it with that Search and Destroy. They play Raid like a fiddle.
They go for the hard counter through the B site. They're not there. It's then, okay, we have to take down the player on the flank. That was Simp, and Simp just too good at times. Able to win both of those gunfights. Has the help of Arcitys. And they were ready for it. They win their search and destroy. They win 5-2. They get back to the podium.
Whew, and it's back to that combo. When they're in form, they're so well-rounded. They have a wide map pool. They're going to have some advantages in a best-of-9. But, for NYSL, it is a hell of a run. It is a newly formed team. You make this run, and it is incredibly impressive. I know it hurts now, but man, the potential of this team is insane because just like we saw, for Ultra, for FaZe, when they get to a point where they know they're a contender, the next step is really working on that map pool. And you got to think if they make it to another final, let's say at the next stage, they're going to be in a much better spot.
I think it's control. I mean, that's really it. And they're a 1v1. Again, they're a 1v1 away from this being 3-3.
True. Very true.
Instead of
Very
a 4-2.
Yeah.
Yeah, but to me, it's that control mode. You lose both of them here. That is how Toronto Ultra won the second major. It's how Atlanta FaZe won the major, was around those controls and those search and destroys. They do it here again.
Yeah, that has been the recipe for success. The reaction, though, out of FaZe. Yeah, you gotta love it. I mean, you saw after round 3 or whatever, you went to a shot of them, they knew they'd won. They knew they had won. But give it up for the Major 3 champs. It is Atlanta FaZe enjoying the $200,000 first place prize as they get ready for a game of horse.
I mean, you just have to think about this. How difficult it is to beat Atlanta FaZe not once, but twice. Ultra, they did it, but it was in a major final. NYSL, they did it, but it was in a winner's final, and they have to rematch. This is what we mean with this Atlanta FaZe team. They are so difficult to defeat day in and day out. Top to bottom, they are nuts.
Yeah, and, they can have off series as well, but, to me, the only thing that really comes to mind, because I think some of the series losses during stage 3 were due to them working on stuff like APOC and Express. Really, the only series that I thought they maybe weren't themselves or just didn't play to their abilities was probably that final versus Ultra. And Ultra were lights out. They were informed. They were incredible in Ultra. Hell, they may win the next event, but something was off. They had some work to do. People were getting caught. The pacing was off. The search wasn't there like it once was. But with Crowder and the coaching squad, they went in, did a lot of work, and even though they get knocked into the lower side of it, they make the run. And yeah, I know it was like a 1v1 here and there, but some of these maps show they were just the better team.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And you could still say the same for NYSL. Miami, Search and Destroy, Garrison, Hardpoint, the maps they won, it was very one-sided. The one that sticks out to me is just checkmate control, that 1v1. Who knows where this series goes next? If they're able to win that one. But that's Call of Duty sometimes. And as you said, for NYSL, unbelievable stage 3. Even though it's second place, it's a new team. HyDra looks incredible. They have a lot to work on, and they know that, but they are a powerhouse now in the league. And a team a lot of people don't want to face.
I'll be honest, I had Ultra in the final because I didn't think the improvements could happen that quickly in Search and Destroy or Control, just based on what we saw. But it happened really fast for Search. They got better quickly, and it's just a fun team to watch. The story is there. I love it with Clay and HyDra and the squad. It's a fantastic team, and I can't wait to see where they're going to go. But all props to FaZe right now. Let's take a look at our scuff play of the game. I imagine it's where the entire team tries to run out one doorway, and Cellium shoots the ball.
It's not. Get smoked.
Oh, it's not?
Okay.
I thought it might be.
It's not. It's a slow
that'd be
offense here.
That'd be too fast. Yeah, we probably have a requirement for how long the video has to be for scuff, and that just would have been too quick.
Well, this is like that 2-2 split, but it's kind of everybody can help out everyone. Simp, he gets the info. He gives the call out to Cell, right? So there's one reaction there. aBeZy, he does get caught. This is a great play by Mack, but into the 2v2 we go, and Cellium just kind of does what Cellium does, right? Where he just makes it look really difficult to take him down. Slides left, slides right. He's doing a cha-cha slide in art. Then he wins the gunfight.
Let me tell you, when you are at a high level in Call of Duty, everyone shoots pretty straight, right? When you are a player with 43 HP going against somebody with 150, it is not easy. Usually you have to rely on a movement to bail you out, or your positioning or cover. There, he didn't have much to work with, though. It was the movement, and he's one of the best in the game when it comes to that. Unreal. But a final look at the Major 3 bracket and how it all broke down. And now, as we get ready for stage 4, Joe, the conversation around points and the top 8 that are going to get into champs, the pressure is mounting.
And there's one thing in my mind with stage 4, and I hope it happens, and that's standoff. That's all.
Yes,
that is my
please,
favorite map
God.
of all time. I cannot wait to see it. Hopefully we do see it. So that's yeah, what I got.
Yeah, I want it so bad. And I'm hearing we're going to have Jess with aBeZy coming up next. And Jess, if you can hear me right now, I want you to ask aBeZy if he's actually ever earned a score streak and used it in an official CDL match this year. I would like that information desperately. No one tweeted me a video. I don't think it's ever happened before. But aBeZy was incredible. We got the interview coming up next. Congratulations again to FaZe, Joe, and I. We love you. It was an incredible time, an incredible tournament. We cannot wait to continue on the second season of the Call of Duty League. But coming up next, it's the young freak. Thinks he's Batman half the time. aBeZy.
Alrighty, here we are for your final Game Fuel victory spotlight of Major 3. And of course, this time I have with me one of the members of the Atlanta FaZe, aBeZy. Congrats on that incredible win. I mean, you showed up to the first major, took a win. Here you are in Major 3, taking another fat dub. Just tell us, in your words, how did you do that?
You know, we came up and clutched in the control and checkbait, and after we clutched that last round, I was like, well, we got this in the bag, guys, because we have Raid S&D, and that's been one of our best S&Ds all year. And, you know, we played it flawlessly, and it feels amazing.
So I do want to quickly go back to that second S&D where the Subliners did take 5 rounds in a row. I mean, you bounced right back from that. How did you keep that from slowing down your momentum?
The S&D was just like a bloodbath. You know, we kind of just got smoked. I mean, we almost brought it back, but unfortunately we just couldn't. And, you know, we knew that that was like one of our worst S&D maps going into this stage. So we kind of just brushed it off and, you know, came out with the fire and the control.
Well, in many other interviews with you or the other members of your team, you guys have always seemed really good at being able to kind of let those little things go, which is fantastic. Well, it feels like with the rest of the league, there has been so much reshuffling, both in terms of how they're kind of performing as teams and then also the rosters themselves. And I mean, aBeZy, your team has just stayed so consistent. You're always coming out on top. So, I mean, how are you always coming out on top? How do you maintain that consistency?
Really, I mean, we just put in the work every single day in scrims. You know, we're always watching VOD. We're always doing anything we can to get better at any single map that we're not playing the best at. And that's like the biggest thing, you know, it's just that. We're really just working very, very hard behind the scenes.
Well, sometimes it really is as simple as that. Just kind of put in the work and do the prep. Well, aBeZy, congrats once again. Thank you so much for your time. Congratulations.
Thank you so much, Jess.
All right, well, there you have it. Quite a Major 3, if you ask me. That is it for me and the Game Fuel Victory Spotlight. But don't go anywhere. We have more broadcasts for you. We are going to be revealing the player of the stage, as well as some final thoughts on Major 3. See you soon.
It brings me great pleasure to now name the third Astro player of the stage this season. Congratulations, Arcitys. You've risen to the challenge, and because of the way you've led your team, you're going home Major 3 champions and individually player of the stage. Bro, I've got to say, first of all, congratulations. That was an incredible showing from you boys. And I want to quickly just reflect on your journey as a team this stage, because you guys have kind of faced some ups and downs on the way, but then to come back back through the rest of it, you know, losing last major, coming second place, but now showing exactly what you're made of, winning this major. What does it feel like, man?
I mean, it was hyped for like 5 minutes, but it's back to work. So I don't know. It's stage 3, so we're focused on stage 4 now. We're gonna enjoy the little time we have. So I don't know. It's great.
I like that. Okay, some chillaxing time. I appreciate that. Hey, look, I gotta say though, Alec, I mean, you are arguably one of the best ARs in the game right now, and obviously taking away Player of the Stage is a massive accolade. What would you say your individual talent comes down to, my dude?
Knowing what I want to do. I think the first 2 majors, I got a lot of trolls tweeting me, saying like you should get dropped. You have a 0.7, 0.8, and I focused on it. I focused on getting better individually instead of like actually like, I don't know. There's a lot of trolls that got to me, so I said, can I say the F word?
Say F.
Fuck them. But I don't know. I know what I could do. I know everyone knows what I could do. That's why these boys trust me. They're like, no biggie when you drop 0.8. After Major 2 finals, Toronto embarrassed me. I said, I'm coming back for these months. And I was just like, here we go. So I came, conquered, won stage 3. Let's go.
I love that. Hey, look, that's the way you do it. That's how you prove them wrong. You're sat here, Player of the Stage and Major 3 champion. Incredible stuff. I got to ask you for the last part, obviously you leading the way for the boys here as this team. You know, first hardpoint, it was a bit difficult for you guys. Obviously, New York's hardpoint is pretty damn good, and you went down the first map of this series. Talk to me in terms of a leader and the role that you play on the team. How did you, you know, get things back up in the camp of FaZe?
I mean, I'm going to be honest. I just told the boys to slow down because those guys are really good at hardpoint. They're really good at making you mess up. I was like, guys, next time we play hardpoint against these guys, let them do it. Like, let them come to us, because we kept challenging them, and just screwing up holes, screwing up pushes, screwing up everything. And I said after that Garrison, I said, all right, I'm going to tell you what we're going to do next map. I don't even know what the next hardpoint was, but we want it. So they literally played great hardpoint, but I just said, like, we just got to slow it down and play our game.
Amazing stuff. Look, folks, one of the best AR players in the game. Thank you so much, Arcitys. Congratulations once again. Incredible stuff, and I can't wait to see you guys next stage.
Thank you.
There you have it, folks. We've named our player of the stage, Arcitys, reigns supreme, and he has definitely put on one hell of a show for us this major. Let's take a look right now, though, at our bracket to see exactly how this major journey went for FaZe, because my goodness, it wasn't easy. They did start things off in the winners bracket, as you can see. They did 3-0 Empire, but when it came down to facing Subliners the first time in winners finals, they did get knocked down to the elimination bracket. They faced Ultra and managed to take that one 3-2. It was pretty close, though, quite a close shave there. And then the tournament final, best of 9, 5-2 is the final score, and that leads us on to the CDL points to see exactly what is now on the board for our players and our teams here, because this is what it comes down to. So you can see Atlanta FaZe still at the top of the leaderboard, 340 points. New York tucked under nicely with 240, 100-point difference there with these guys.